This episode is brought to you by the High Performance Academy. More on them later.
I actually just took the entire body harness from a Mustang and threw it in the car. So it's got the dash, Mustang key, everything is in the car. Like it thinks it's in a Mustang still.
It will start to boil and then that tire will actually fall off. Whereas probably in like road racing, you're used to just seeing, like you're saying, the tire will get greasy.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Minnoxide podcast. I'm your host, Harris, aka Minnoxide, man of many automotive aspirations, and I'm here with my Ford-loving co-host, still in the same shop as the last episode from a week ago. Well, technically, it's going to be a week ago when I posted.
That's true. That's true.
And today we are here with Chad Anderson and Josh Estey. Close enough.
Close enough.
Yeah,
definitely.
Josh
close
Estey.
enough.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, I probably should have had another energy drink before kicking this one off. But nonetheless, you guys are teammates and you guys do some pretty cool stuff. So go ahead and just give us a little bit of introduction about what it is you guys do, who you are, and we'll go from there.
You're on Bobby's crew first. So
Okay, yeah. So we're both on a team called Bobby's Crew. Bobby's Crew originated 15 years ago. Let's just use that as a rough time frame. And then I think I've been on a team for roughly 8 years. Chad joined about a year later, I think, probably.
Yeah, we were like driving together before we were both on the team, I think.
Yeah.
And then kind of.
Yeah, so if you guys are familiar with the area, there's Flat Rock Speedway.
Okay.
So I think that's actually when me and you met, is at Flat Rock. Chad started out doing media first when he moved back from PA, right?
Yep. Yeah, did media and then drove Flat Rock, Auto City. That was kind of the only events that we drove, I think, because we didn't really know there was anything else going on. I didn't know anyways.
Yeah, starting out, it's like good to be at those smaller tracks. And then, long story short, we could go into the story, but 8 years later, we're driving, places like Grid Life, and we're going to M1 actually. Well, you said a week. This will be like a week, I don't know, a month ago or whatever.
Sure.
For Drift Indy, but we'll be out there competing.
Okay.
So yeah, me, Chad, and our other teammate Mike, and even Vance. This is Vance's car behind us. We all compete in Drift Indy series. We were in Street League. It's a smaller series. Well, it's not smaller. It's let's say, if you know what Formula Drift is, there's Pro Spec and then there's like Pro. I would call Street League like the Pro Spec version, and then GP would be like the Pro version. So we're in GP, all four of us. So we have that this weekend.
Sure. Mm-hmm. So you're going to be drifting at M1 then?
Correct.
Isn't that like a fairly narrow track or?
Yeah, so they're the road course is like what they normally have, like so there's a bunch of garages there that the owners drive the cars on. Mm-hmm. They have a skid pad that they normally host cars and coffee on and stuff.
Yep.
But that's where they're going to be doing the drifting.
Gotcha. Okay.
But yeah, the road course they've done drifting on, but it is very skinny, so not much off course area in case you do off course you'll crash into something.
Sure.
No, you drifters never get out of control.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially during competition. It's like people lose their minds usually when they're in competition. You get really nervous.
Yeah.
And I mean, I sometimes get nervous. He probably gets nervous. It happens.
Yeah, you're going to get nervous. I mean, we went to a competition like 5 years ago, and it was the first time that I had ever been in like a serious competition. And it was like a $50,000 payout, right? So we show up, I showed up wanting to win, obviously, but there's pro drivers and stuff there. So the pros of being teammates is that we can kind of push our limits a little bit. Well, I was so nervous but so excited that I over pushed, like I think our first lap together, and just plowed his back door.
Yeah, so like
I'm sorry, that's the best way you could have said that.
No, it was like you like T-boned me.
It was bad.
What happened was they made a course change and he didn't really know.
Okay.
There was like an inner clip that they added, and when they initially had the driver's meeting, it was like a touch and go or something. Yeah. So I went in and he thought I was going to move out like another 10 feet, and it was just like.
Sure.
Yeah, you like transition through the smoke and you can't really see, so you kind of just commit to what you think is going to happen, and then if it obviously when you come through the smoke and story changes, that's what it could result in for sure.
My car got like dented, but like it was drivable, but he spent like the rest of the day kind of fixing it, and then he barely got any practice, which kind of
I actually fixed the car, and then I had another issue, I think. So I think I had fuel pump issues or something like that, so I had to replace a couple control arms from hitting him, and then I switched to a control arm that isn't ideal just because I had less angle or whatever. So one side I had a bunch of angle, on the other side didn't because the wheel hit. And then, it started raining actually too. Yeah.
It's been a while since we've been there. That probably was 5 years ago.
Yeah, I think it was 5 years ago.
Was it pre-COVID or post-COVID?
It was before it, I think.
I think so.
Yeah. Right, that's how we separate the world nowadays.
Yeah.
How long ago was that? That was 3 years ago, right?
21.
Yeah, but it kicked off
5-6 years ago now.
Yeah.
Oh, crazy. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
2019, 2020.
I don't remember.
December 2019 is when we heard murmurs of it starting.
Yeah.
And then 2020, and then that's when Venom Rally was a thing.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ!
I was on a cruise ship, and then I got off the cruise ship, and then I think the week after that, they wouldn't let the cruise ships come back in, so people were stuck out there for weeks. So
You just barely made it.
I did. I was on with my whole family on a Disney cruise, so that would have been absolutely horrible.
Man.
like people getting stuck that took planes, getting stuck in other countries.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's crazy.
So then what do you guys have for vehicles then? Just to inform the audience of it.
I guess I can go. I have a E46 sedan, and it's got Coyote Swap in it, to be short.
Okay, and then you?
Yeah, so I have a 240 SX, pretty much the staple of Nissans and drifting. Car behind you, maybe the camera can see it. Pretty much have the car behind you, but it's got an EcoBoost in it.
Sure.
2-liter EcoBoost.
Yep, which if you want to learn about EcoBoost, go to the episode right before this. Which, we said 2 liter?
2-liter, yeah.
Gotcha, okay. And then when did you make that switch?
So I originally, I've had an LS. I started out with an LS car. And then I switched to a Skyline that had an RB in it, RB25. It was R33, same car as this one over here, but that's a GTR, but I had a GT-ST, so it was rear drive, not all-wheel drive. So I knew that kind of helped me figure out what I wanted, right? So I knew I wanted a turbo car, and I knew I wanted a straight 6 at that time. So I ended up buying a 240 SX with the 1JZ. I had that for 3 or 4 years, and it was great. Made 450 wheel horsepower, did everything I needed to do, beat the crap out of it. But eventually I got to a point, like me and Chad have been driving for 10 years plus, right? So we're pretty honed in on what we want and all those minute details. So the guys here at the shop started talking about doing 4-cylinder swaps, and I was like always a Honda kid, big into Honda. So I was gonna K-swap my car. And then I was like, oh, you guys want to do an EcoBoost, Fords suck, blah, 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 blah. I'm not interested in that at all. It's stupid. And then we started working on them, learning about them, and then tell me waiter.
No, you're good.
And then they talked me into it. I talked myself into it. And now I got EcoBoost. And it's been pretty good. I mean, it's definitely, my goal with EcoBoost was to maintain the same power goals, but take that weight off the front end. So like I ended up over-springing my car to get rid of a lot of like, I would call it, I don't know the correct term, but like low speed bump. So let's say if I'm in the middle of a drift and the front end, I hit a small bump, well, the front end would continue to bounce. And any sort of fluctuation in the front suspension is something that you have to steer for. Not a lot, but it's still something that you think about. And at this higher level of drifting, we're not pros, but we do drive at events where you can't really mess up. So, if you can get rid of certain things that you have to think about, you'll be in a better spot. So that's not the entire reason why I switched, but it's been great.
How does that work being part of a team, right? Who owns the race team? And then when it comes to doing your car stuff, are you guys taking care of that yourself? Is the team pitching in any way, or how does that aspect of everything work?
So yeah, we're like a team, but we're not owned by anyone.
Okay.
So we have our own programs and we just drive together essentially.
Okay.
But like the whole aspect of having a team, if you go to like a drift event and you're not on a team, you can drive with whoever you want. It's not stuck with like, if you're on a team, you drive with those people, that's it. It just makes it nice. Like if we want to go to Wisconsin or somewhere in New Jersey or whatever, we just say, hey, you guys want to go? It's kind of just like your buddies going, and you can go to an event. We don't really need to like practice with each other. We know what each other's going to do. And it's like, you're not like worried about someone crashing really, because you're so comfortable with each other. It's like a weird feeling. Like if I'm following Josh at a new track and he doesn't know what he's doing, I can tell just following, but we're all in the same thing, and it's like hilarious. Like when we were at Polecat, he just like blew off that first turn. We were like, my girlfriend was riding with me and we were just dying laughing, but we almost went off too. And then we went off track, and then someone was behind us and went, but it's just hilarious to do it as a team.
And the other aspect, we have our other teammate, Mike. I actually did follow him off track. So I initiated behind him and trusted him. And then all of a sudden I see.
Oh, that was at Grid Life.
That was New Jersey.
And we did it at Grid Life.
But we did do it at Grid Life too. We had like 110 mile an hour. But we initiate and I'm like, I see that at track and I'm like, oh boy. And then all of a sudden just dirt flying everywhere. We're in the grass. And I'm like, Mike, dude. I was like, you let us off track. So that happens quite a bit.
It's just fun as a team, because if you're with random people, you might be like, man, that guy sucks, or he led me off track. But just being on a team, it's more fun, I think.
Sure.
It's kind of like being at the skate park with your friends. Like, you don't go to the skate park, well, maybe you guys do, but you don't go to the skate park and just hang out with randos. Like, usually you probably have like your friend group that you go to the skate park with, and you guys kind of feed off each other to get better or have more fun, or maybe you cook out at the skate park that day. That's the aspect of the team kind of brings to drifting, which is, it's definitely nice. Like, for example, planning Airbnbs, like there's no like set schedule, like this guy has to plan it. Like Mike just planned this time. Sometimes Chad does it. It's just whoever's free in that moment. As a team, each of us will take initiative and just try to fill those voids where we can to help each other out.
Well, it brings costs down for everybody too, right?
Definitely.
Yeah, for Airbnbs. And like sharing tools and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I mean, there's not a lot of specialty tools we have to really use, but just
but you're not bringing 4 jacks and, everybody's bringing their own socket set and
Yeah, I mean, like the basic stuff like that we'll bring, but like Mike's usually brings his whole enclosed trailer with everything in it. So we kind of use a lot of his stuff because we know he's going to have it, but
yeah, he's Mr. Perfect.
It depends on the event.
Don't worry, I am Mike. I am the guy that brings everything. So a lot of people hang out at my trailer.
You said you brought your trailer, didn't you?
I have just my aluminum drop trailer I brought out here for so that we can all ride out here together. My Bronco's got kind of lower miles, so I towed it out here, and it was just easier. I keep all the kids together in the Navigator, and
it's an OJ Bronco.
Yeah.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
OJ.
Yeah, you're talking to the wrong demographic here.
So OJ was a football player.
Yeah.
It's a white Bronco.
Murdered his wife and best
Allegedly.
friend. Yeah.
Oh, isn't there a movie about that?
Yeah, there is. But anyway, there was a very famous 8-hour chase that was all over the news back in the late 90s, and he was in a white Bronco.
Oh.
So anytime there's a white 90s Bronco, it's an OJ Bronco.
OJ Bronco.
Yeah.
It's funny.
But you have to be over the age of probably 30 or something to...
I'm 31. I didn't get it. Yeah.
Where were you in the 90s, man?
What year was that chase?
I want to say so it was a 95 Bronco, I believe. So I want to say 97, 98 maybe.
We wouldn't remember it.
Yeah, I was 6 years old.
Yeah.
It happened before I was born. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm just do I call myself an automotive historian now? I don't know what's the official. Anyways, back to you guys.
Well, just to touch on that thing, so him and I do road rallies together all the time, and we have our core group of things like that. We're not in gumball category of stuff, but I can get on a freeway with him and get 6 inches off his bumper, and I know that he's not going to do something stupid, or will do that kind of cutting up traffic or something like that, in Mexico, doing that kind of stuff. And there's a level of trust there,
Yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, if we're tandeming, and if it's a big enough turn or something at grid life, you can just get right there and either not hit each other, or you can just kind of nub each other, and it's just pretty fun.
Sure. So I want to talk about this Coyote Swap you did.
Yeah.
How'd that end up happening? And is that a standard thing that people do, or not really?
Coyote swaps are very popular.
Sure. Yeah.
They're gaining traction in BMW. The car I have now is the one I started with. So I bought it bone stock to learn to drift. I drifted about 2 years with a stock engine, and then I wanted more power. So I was kind of looking at doing just a turbo kit, a LS swap. But I also have a 2013 Mustang, and I'm engineer at Roush. So I'm all around Coyotes all the time, and I was it would be super cool to put one of those in it. So I found a car that was crashed, swapped everything over, and maybe you can quote me, but I think I was the first person to do it in an E46.
Okay.
Because I couldn't find anything online related to it. There's a guy that did it in an E36, basically the same thing, a little bit different engine bay, but after me, there's been a couple other people from even different countries just asking hey, I saw your YouTube video. Hey, how did you do this with the oil pan, this with the steering shaft, this type of thing. But I have
seen your videos.
I just wanted to be unique.
Because I looked into that Coyote swapping, because I found one online, I think, with a blown engine. I was I wonder how hard it'd be to do that. And then I come across you.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I'm the only one with a Roush supercharger on it. Some of the other guys in maybe Europe, I don't know what country exactly, they're doing twin turbo stuff. One guy's a nitrous
with
thing.
Coyotes.
Yeah.
In Europe.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty sick. And there's also a dude in Georgia or something that's got a twin turbo E46 Coyote that I saw the other day.
Seems like it'd be a lot, wouldn't it?
Yeah, like it doesn't. It's more crammed than my engine bay is.
Because then you say that the Coyote's like only good for like 600-ish wheel.
Well, not. It depends. Stock block. I mean, you can go. People make 1,000 horsepower on them all the time.
Yeah,
It's just
yeah,
how long are they
stock.
gonna live?
Right around 12 is where she starts. I would get sketched
Yeah,
out.
like I would say, like for reliability wise, like 600 wheels, like really safe with them.
That's your pretty standard, like slap on a PD blower and go to town on like a Whipple stock tune. It's like a stage 2. Buy it off the magazine blower.
Depends what gen engine you have.
Right.
Gen 1, Gen 2, Gen 3, Gen 4.
Right.
Mine's a Gen 2. So
I was gonna ask you what
it's
gen.
kind of like, I'm not saying the best, but it's
I think
a
Gen 2.
sought after one for sure.
It's more solid for what if you're gonna build one or do that. I would say,
I have blown 2 engines though, so I will say that.
Oh, you guys
I've
are
blown
the
2
same.
Coyotes as well. So
Yeah, but they have been like junkyard ones that I don't really know the history of. But they've all failed from ringland failure.
Didn't you say you're revving yours like higher than you should? And you're not supposed to bounce it off a limiter?
Yeah, like I don't know if that really has anything.
Or are you doing pump gears and everything then too?
I have oil pump gears, but the rings, like when you take them apart, you can see that they butt up against each other. So this latest engine, which knock on wood, it's still been together, and we increased the gap on it to hopefully help that. So I don't know if I was just.
They tend to get hot. So what is it? 7? Cylinder
limiter?
7?
I've had 5 and 7 are the 2 that usually go.
So like towards that corner, I believe, of the engine, it tends to not have as much cooling by the time the way
people
the
do those
water flows.
crossovers and stuff,
So you can do that where you connect the heads on the backside.
Yep.
That's supposed to help a little bit. So that's usually where the failure is because it tends to get hot there and then.
Yeah, it's like not hot that the engine's overheating, but it's hot enough
Correct.
that the rings are like at the max they can expand before they start touching. And then if they touch, ringland breaks.
Could you just run E85 to help with that? Or
Yeah.
Probably.
or does it not help enough to be worth it?
I would think so.
Yeah, I mean, alcohol definitely burns cooler, so that usually
Right.
is a help. But then, at what point are you? How often are you at
The-
high RPM, things like
Exactly.
that?
Well, these guys all the time.
Yeah.
Correct.
And we're
So-
constantly like on throttle off. Like it's not just like a drag car or
Right.
a street car. We're always just blah, 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 just not ever keeping it constant.
But you're usually above 60% throttle with TPS.
Yeah.
So like you're in it for sure.
Yeah.
What you've done is probably brought your compression ratio down just a hair then too, doing that.
So I don't really know. I didn't like measure it or anything, but I think the next step is to go to E85 and like once I do a link ECU or something.
Yeah.
I just meaning to do it. I have the ECU. I haven't done the whole route.
Hey,
yet.
The
dude,
car works.
Yeah, it works. Yeah, exactly. It's like,
I am the king of collecting parts and then just they sit in a box. I just put everything on my car not that long ago and I've had it for over a year.
Everything?
Most things. I have everything else ready to go. Waiting for tuning.
Yeah.
Which is a conversation we had just before this episode. So yeah. So walk us through doing that for the first time then. I mean, what's you said you're an engineer at Roush? So did you have a little bit of an advantage then? You have that mind where you can be like, oh, I'm going to need this, this, and this. Do you have help fabricating? Like where are we?
So I actually learned like all my fabrication doing that. Like I'm not a fabricator or anything.
Okay.
The hardest part was the headers on that. And I always thought it would be fun to design headers. And so I started the route of just 3D printing them because I'm really big into 3D printing. So there was some models I made where you could kind of clock them with the bend radius and tube that you're using, kind of made them 3D printed and then tried to duplicate that with actual tubing.
Okay, since this episode, I went ahead and bought myself a 3D printer. It's been super fun watching what's basically silly string turn into something strong and usable, and I've gone down rabbit holes of understanding various materials and learning just how strong a 3D product can be. Turns out it can be very strong. So when I found out that HP Academy was about to drop a 3D printing course, I was pretty excited. Getting into 3D printing is relatively inexpensive and super easy. Mine was like about $800 and I got printing within 30 minutes of getting home. I also went ahead and joined a group called 3D Printed Car Parts on Facebook, and I've seen some pretty awesome solutions for classic cars and tools and whatever else. Anyways, this is one of my new favorite courses from the High Performance Academy, and you can get it for 55% off using code MINOX, or go ahead and use the link in the description below. Let's get back to the show.
Okay.
It didn't fit the first like 4 times I did it, but it was still fun. So yeah, I had to do custom headers, all the engine mounts, trans mount, But as far as like the ECU wise, I actually just took the entire body harness from a Mustang and threw it in the car. So it's got the dash, Mustang key, everything is in the car. Like it thinks it's in a Mustang still, like because I use HP tuners.
Don't valet that car.
Yeah, yeah. Like
I'm looking for a Mustang. Beep beep.
Yeah, like if you lock it, if you had the lights or the turn signals hooked up, it would like lock and unlock.
That's hilarious.
It's when people are doing swaps, I'm surprised more. So I'm a big Copart guy, right? So if I'm gonna do a swap, I like to buy the whole car because you never know. Plus there's some benefits to things you can maybe part out and sell to help recoup what you haven't used. But having it there, you never know what sensor or plug or something that you may need to go back to and grab.
Yeah, this was like kind of like a crank-a-pallet type of deal. It was like an engine with the whole harness and everything.
Oh, okay.
There's a
Who'd
couple,
you get it from?
It was just like a random junkyard thing. Yeah. There was a couple sensors though that either were broken or I didn't have, or like they were cut or something, and so you had to kind of use some like Ford wiring diagrams to figure that out. But it wasn't that hard electrically. The hardest part was just making it physically fit in the engine bay and all that kind of stuff.
Speaking of like the CAD stuff and all that, when you were making those, is there like are you able to test certain things? Like I've never played around with CAD, right? So like, are you able to test anything, or are you just basically making the design and throwing it on?
So yeah, I mean like they do. I think, do you guys still do like 3D scanning for some of your designing?
You mentioned it earlier.
Yeah, but you got to have such an expensive one that it's really not good unless you have like small parts.
It depends how accurate you need to be.
Sure.
So you got one that could get you in the ballpark and then you go from there.
Yeah, but sometimes even that's not like worth it because you can just mic a lot of things out.
Yeah. What I did is I didn't have a scanner, but I just basically printed a ton of tubing parts, so little kind of blocks, kind of like Legos just with headers.
Yeah.
And then you could just have the engine in the car, just reach up there, put it all in so it kind of fits, and then replicate that in tubing the best you can.
Sure.
But yeah, if you had a good enough scanner, you could model the whole thing, make it perfect, and then you could send it out and get made or something.
I think they have kits you can get like that off of like Jegs and Summit too. They're like you said, like Lego building blocks.
But this was also like 6 years ago.
Yeah, this was a while ago. Yeah.
So I don't think any of that was even like known about.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
There was Coyote Swaps going on, but not into Foxes.
No,
but
I
not
mean,
into what you're doing.
3D scanning.
Yeah,
I don't think 3D scanning was really a thing.
It wasn't
he was
common.
doing a swap.
Yeah, unless you had like a lot of money. Like you can get scanners now for like $1,000 that are decent, but like back then I don't think you did. I don't know.
Well, yeah, we have. So, you guys know Luke, right? The Cybertruck pre-runner guy. I mean, have you seen his laser rust remover machine? So we got to play with that. We were at his place, like right off of Amazon. Like again, that's one of those things that 5-6 years ago.
That's off Amazon?
Yeah, he ordered right off Amazon.
I didn't know.
Really?
Yeah.
You paid a lot of money for getting it off Amazon.
Yeah, you would think that you're gonna fork out $2-3 grand, and then it just shows up at your door. That was quite a risk, but that is pretty awesome.
I think his was like 5 or 6, wasn't it? Either way, he was shooting flies across the shop. It was great.
Really? Did he try to remove any of your tattoos with it?
No. We were trying to. I almost did it because he said he hasn't actually shot himself in the skin yet, and I was like, I don't know. I was almost willing to be the guinea pig, but then I decided
he finally got somebody to do it.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. If you go like on his Instagram, there's the dude that built his motor. He like did it. I wish I remember how the video went, but I don't think it removed any skin or anything like that.
Okay.
Because they turned it like way
like a
down.
rectangle on your arm.
Might be good for hair removal, maybe.
I have a video that I posted doing like WiseFab conversion on my car, and I think that portion on my house, I was like, we're gonna go to Luke's and use his tattoo removal gun to get less gunk off my subframe, and it's just funny because I've heard him try to get other people to like hit their skin with it, and then he like me, and then obviously he did it with you guys, which is
just
hilarious.
Complete strangers meet him for the first time. Hey, can I shoot with my laser gun?
Yeah, exactly.
He's a good time.
How far is he from here? Not that far, like maybe a half hour to an hour or something?
25 minutes.
Yeah, so this is that same track that he was talking about that he likes to go to in drift, right? It's not far from his house. That's kind of an in-between
just over here.
Yeah, okay. The track they were talking about?
Oh, no, he took a deep breath. I thought he had another.
No, that's just me being fat.
All right, so then... All right,
That's all right. We can move on from that.
I'm getting a grip here. Next topic. But anyways, okay, so you guys have been teammates for several years now. How have you guys improved, right? Has there been some difficulties? I mean, obviously you mentioned, plowing into his back door. Like, what else? Has there been learning experiences along the way?
Yeah, we can get my take and then his take. I think that as we've progressed, we obviously are doing like DIGP now and more competition stuff. So we're like setting our cars up to be necessarily faster or grippier, or they'll do more things that we want them to do, like on purpose, instead of just kind of being out there drifting.
Sure.
Kind of letting the car do what it wants and we're just kind of controlling it. Whereas now we're like telling the car, I want you to go like this specific zone.
Yeah, there's
and that
purpose.
type of thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I think being on a team helps because, like I was saying earlier, like I know he's going to be okay to chase and I'm not going to worry about it. So I can try different things in the chase. Same thing in the leads too.
Okay.
So
Yeah, it really just leaves it open for, like he's saying, that level of trust. You could make a change and then you know that you're going to get a good lead, so you can see if that change was actually a good change or a bad change. Bad change. Whereas if you were driving with some random person, well, they're not going to do the same lap every time.
Sure.
Or at least they're not going to do a lap that you can predict. Whereas, you know, if I'm following Chad, he's going to do the same thing over and over. Or even if he doesn't, I can at least monitor how he is driving to know what he's doing, because just we've driven together so much.
like if you were drag racing, you could go make a change, say, oh, my 60 foot got better. Oh, my trap speed. But without a ton of like data recording stuff, it's really hard for us to like actually know. It's all seat feel. Like if your car's faster or slower, it washed out more or something.
It's an educated guess.
It's really hard.
Basically.
Yeah, we have no data like supporting that it's better. So it's really hard.
So, okay, take me to, what's the most recent competition event that you've done?
Probably, DIGP.
It'd be GP the first round.
Yeah.
Okay, so first thing you get there, what does the setup look like? Are you guys ready to go right off the trailer? Are you doing some work like when you get there? Like, what are you feeling for?
Ideally, you show up ready to go.
Sure.
I mean, like, for example, today is Wednesday. We leave in 2 days to go to the track, 2 or 3 days. Saturday is competition day. Like, the more I can do now, the better off I'm going to be. Like, because you get to the track, you want to hang out with your friends. You don't want to be working on the car, especially because you're in a parking lot. You're not at home where it's comfortable, or like you have a lift, etc. Stuff like that.
Or if something breaks, you can't like go order it. Like you got to have it done that day.
Right.
Thing.
Yeah. So it's called like, we prep the car. Like you guys are probably used to hearing that term. We prep the cars, and then because we've actually been on the podium at this track, which is sick. Hopefully we do it again.
I actually won it. I was just on the podium.
You won it?
I won.
Okay, my bad. I got third. I'm pretty sure I got third. He got first. So we have a good idea of what the compound of the course is and what kind of like speeds we'll be at, stuff like that. So it's easy for us to set our cars up accordingly to that.
Sure.
So we do that before we get there.
How often are these events, or when you're running a series like that, how often do they pay out? You had mentioned one of them was a $50,000 payout. Is that pretty common, not common?
That is uncommon, super uncommon.
Yeah.
So then when one does pay out, if you guys are on a team, do you guys share that then, or how do you do that?
No, it's just whoever wins gets the money.
So basically your team, like you're more of going as a club kind of type thing. You're going together.
We're going as buddies.
But
Yeah, just friends.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like payout wise, it really varies on the organization and how many. It depends on how much the driver count is, how much is the entry fee, how many spectators, do they have a lot of partners? I don't know what DIGP pays out. It's like $1,000 maybe for first. And then you might get free tires too from someone. Or
sometimes like they work with companies like BC Racing Coilovers.
Sure.
Like, they'll be a sponsor of, and I'm not going to speak for them, but just like generally it seems that like, let's say BC sponsors that event. Well, BC will give, the first place winner coilovers through that event organizer. Usually it seems that they work things out that way. And then like another sponsor might give money, or like Injiku Racing gives coupons, not coupons. What are those little
like
gift cards?
Gift card.
Yeah, like a voucher gift card. So you could win. You might not win cash, but a lot of times you can win parts or a big discount off of parts.
Okay.
So, which goes a long way. I mean, some of my winnings actually have like funded pretty much all of my spare parts. You're putting so much money in the car, you don't really want to buy spare parts. So luckily, I've won spare parts.
Well,
that's like how I got my ECU too. Like I won an ECU at one of them.
Oh, really?
It was like it was the Lake Erie like Pro-Am series.
Yeah.
So it was like the first three or top three like points of the season, they got a Link ECU.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Because that's like a feeder series to Formula Drift. So Link,
Gotcha.
that was part of their sponsorship towards that.
Well, they're probably, obviously, the more you're winning too, that opens you up for possibility of sponsors and things like that too. It could get not sure how much of that goes on and what you guys are doing or not.
Yeah, it really depends, because there's not a lot of competitions, but they're out there. It's just you have to go drive to them. So like a lot of partners that we work with, they really just want you to be talking about their products and show why you use them, and like real life stuff, not like, hey, I'm this big shot and this is all my stuff and go buy this product type of thing.
Sure.
Yeah, so we're like, maybe it's good to just add this part. We're like grassroots drivers.
Yes.
Right.
So there's pro and then grassroots. So like for grassroots guys, it's a little different than probably a pro guy, sponsorship wise. I don't know where I was going with that, but
well, no, I get it, because like with this show, we have a variety from grassroots to like pro, right? Like the grassroots stuff is what's the most relatable, right? Like somebody could definitely, like, you guys started this, what'd you say, 8 years ago or 10 years ago? You've been doing this
8 to
roughly?
10, yeah.
Right? Like somebody listening to this could be in your position 8 to 10
like
years from now.
anyone can start drifting.
Yeah.
You just buy any car that can drift and just
Sure.
go to an event. You don't need to be like licensed to just show up an event.
Right, exactly.
Do you have a, so we kind of have an idea what, entry level drift cars are, but what, do you have one that you would recommend to a first timer? Like an out the box, like I hop on Marketplace and...
Chad's car.
It's dependent on
Chad's
budget.
car.
Yeah.
Okay.
E46s are super common because they're just kind of like a commuter car, and they're pretty cheap. 350Zs are also like, I think they're getting there, but like 240s are really expensive now.
Yeah, I would say there's
Or
like,
E36 is like this one too.
depending on how much you want to invest into starting out something you're unsure if you're going to like. We actually play a pretty big role in the local drift events, so we get to deal with a lot of beginners. So what I personally tell drivers is, if you got $5,000 that you want to invest into starting out drifting, buy a BMW, right? So you can get a BMW, a 328 is ideal, or a 330, but 325s work. That would be like the difference of a 2.5, a 2.8, and a 3-liter engine. The 3 liters are awesome. If you got $5,000 to $10,000, then you should buy a 350Z. Those make about 100 more horsepower. Both cars are pretty good out of the box, but let's say you're the type of person where you know you're going to invest 3 years into drifting, right? At least to figure out if you like it. Well, then you should probably be the person to buy a 350Z, because that is going to be, that car will progress with you throughout those years. Whereas a BMW, like I think Chad even already mentioned it, like he went 2 years and was like, I need something else.
Yeah.
So it's more of like what you want to invest in the beginning, but a BMW or a 350Z are the most common.
It depends on what you want to do. If you just want to go and get as many laps for as cheap as possible, you can get a car with 200 horsepower and just do that. But like instinctively, or maybe some people don't, you just want to go faster or have a grippier car or whatever, louder car, I don't know.
Yeah.
But it depends on the person.
Sure. What about, obviously you built your cars over the years, right? So what were the modifications that you're making along the way to make it grippier or get more power or whatever it was? Would you do it differently if you were to go back and go in a different order, or how would you go about it if you were to do it again?
Well, you've had multiple chassis, so it really is chassis dependent.
Okay.
So like his rear suspension is different than mine. His front's different than mine. He actually just converted his front end to a totally different steering rack setup because of the way it drives.
Yeah, I basically have a BMW front end now. So you just progress as you go. But, going back to the team thing, I think it's good to be on a team with a group of dudes, because, we do have that variety where you will see in drifting, like guys will split one way. Like we're the perfect example of two sides of drifting. Whereas like I'm more of a Japanese side of it and Chad's more of the American side of it. I have turbo car, he has V8. BMWs and 240s have different driving characteristics, and you either like one or the other, typically. So like I like the way S chassis drive, Chad likes the way BMWs drive. But anyways, some of the dudes on our team have been driving longer than us, right? So those dudes have the knowledge that we need to help us grow into exactly what we need, which would lead me to say that I wouldn't regret anything that I've done going forward, right? I think that we have both been in good positions to take the correct steps
I would say
to get where we are.
Like buying, if there's like a tried and true brand or way of doing something, and then there's like the one that's like 20% cheaper, usually that one ends up stinking. after so long.
Like, you got to buy quality.
Yeah, like coilovers are a great example. You can get $200-$300 coilovers for any car, and they will work. Yes, that's what I started on. But once you go to a higher quality one, you'll understand why they're more expensive, and you'll be like, wow, this is awesome. Even just like changing bushings out in your car, like going from rubber bushings to poly bushings, you'll notice a difference right away of just how the car acts and feels, and just little things like that. So I would say if you can, just wait a little bit extra and buy the right part and not just buy the cheapest one.
But it's probably good to do suspension before power for sure.
Yeah.
So that was going to be my next question.
Yeah.
Let's say, all right, cool. I've got $8,500. I just went on Marketplace. I bought myself a $6,000 350Z. It's slightly clapped out, but I'm going to go out. I'm going to do some drift stuff with it. Do I just show up with it in stock form? Do I need to get an angle kit? Am I buying a seat? Like, what's my first step?
Yeah, I don't know the angle on those. They probably have little adapters.
They have good angle stock, but
like in general, a seat, I mean, I think it, like, for another example, I have a 330 that he was talking about just as a daily car, and I've drifted that too, but it's got a stock seat. It's terrible because you're flying all around in the car. So I always think a seat is pretty important.
Definitely a seat.
Unless the car comes with some bucket seat already.
A bucket seat and coilovers first, no matter what.
Yeah, and a welded diff or LSD or whatever.
Yes. Yeah, the car won't drift without a welded diff or a good LSD, that's for sure.
But you don't necessarily need an angle kit because a lot of stock cars don't even have enough power to use the angle kit anyways.
Okay.
So you're just going to get to the point where you're about to spin out, and then you don't have enough power to keep drifting, you'll spin out anyways.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
So I would say stage 1 would be coilovers, bucket seat. Stage 2, you could get into a cheaper angle kit like Chad was saying. So a lot of times you don't have to buy a full out angle kit. You can buy like a little adapter that gives you just a little bit more. And then definitely, let's in talking stages, stage 2 would be that angle adapter, a handbrake.
Oh, that brake was another thing I was
A handbrake, yeah. So you can either do a dual caliper setup in the rear so that your handbrake would only control your 2 extra calipers. So most cars obviously have 2 calipers, but in drifting it's common to adapt 2 more on top of that. So you'd have 4 rears, and the handbrake will control just those 2, and then your brakes will control, as normal. Or you could run it inline where the handbrake is in between the master cylinder and the rear brakes. So when you pull the handbrake, it goes to the rear calipers that are already there.
And I would assume that cars that are common in drifting, their kits like that are available to add calipers, things like that, pretty regularly.
Yeah, there's a lot in the last probably 4 years or 5. There's been a ton of new companies popping up that sell stuff. Because it's gotten so much popular, and people are having more event organizations pop up all over the place. So
yeah, I mean, drifting is getting to a point where I'll be at the gas station getting gas, and an old man, 60s, will be like, "That's a drift car," and I'm like, I'm still shocked.
Know what it is? Yeah.
Like, you know what this is, and I just want to be like, how do you know what drifting is? I think drifting hasn't even peaked yet. I think we're probably like 50% there. Whereas NASCAR, like, everybody knows what NASCAR is. They know what it's about. They know NASCAR drivers. I don't think you could say the same about drifting. Well, not to get off a topic with suspension, but
that's the thing. It's like same thing with like drag racing, right? Like I feel like drifting is just accessible to people. Like anybody can go whip a car, and then you can start being like, oh, I want to do more of this. Oh, I want to get better at this. So
and you get a ton of seat time. You go to a test and tune for drag racing. How long are you in the car driving? Including your burnout.
There's drag cars that through a whole season will have driven a total of 3 minutes.
Right, yeah.
Right? Because you're 10 seconds,
and you're
12
spending
seconds.
the same amount of money, time, working on the car, and that it's totally 2 different things, obviously. But like, if I would take my daily to the drag strip for test and tune nights, and that's my hobby, you may spend the same amount of money if you just bought a drift car, and you can drive for hours in one day.
You can do 100 laps in a day at a good event.
What's okay? So we've talked a little bit about cost of entry. What is it cost to maintain? How much am I spending on tires? Like, how much does it cost to enter these events? What are we, is this,
what's a weekend cost you?
Right. Is this a relatively affordable form of racing, or?
It's as affordable as you want to make it.
Yeah, for sure.
If you have a low powered car, you're not using a lot of money for tires. You can buy really grippy tires, are more expensive, or cheaper ones. You can go to expensive events, you can go to cheap events.
I mean, when I started out, I worked at Bell Tire, and I was getting takeoffs. Like, your grandma shows up and she just wants to get new winter tires, and you get her 70% or 50% tread tires, and I throw them on my car and I burn them off the rest of the way for free. So I would say a lot of entry-level dudes do that. And then, you know, as a beginner, you probably spend $5,000 to $1,000 per event total.
Okay. That's like gasket in there, the entry fee, anything you
tires,
might break, all that stuff.
And we could dive a little deeper into that. But you know, the level that we're at, I would say we're at a point where we're just before like actually taking it serious and going pro, where it does get really, really expensive. But I would say a good average for a big event for us is probably like $3,000 to $4,000 per event.
Okay. And how many events are you guys doing a season?
1 to 2 a month.
Yeah.
And it's about 8 months in a season.
Yeah.
Okay. And then, so
that's about 16 if you're.
And then is it all like within a single like series then? Or are you doing multiple different?
We're doing what? There's 3 rounds of DIGP or 4?
3 rounds of GP, drifting GP.
Did 2 grid lives.
We did 2 grid lives. Might do another one, but typically we have our seasons planned out. Yeah.
Sure.
Like ahead of time. Yeah. So we probably drive maybe at 4 or 5 different organizations throughout the year, I'd say.
Yeah. Yeah. There's tons of organizations around here, and you could drive, you know, from here to Tennessee, I think is where Polecat is, and see a different organization, or from here to Ohio. Like here in town, it's Mid-Michigan Drift Club, and then in Ohio, it's Drift Indy. That's 3 hours away. And then what else is there?
Club Loose out
There's Club Loose
Jersey,
in Pennsylvania. US Air, there's, you know, Fun About, and
what do they call that?
What do they call that? The Good Luck League, the thing that Jacob's part of. Anyways,
Mike right now.
Yeah.
US Air, they have a league there, or an organizer there as well.
Sure. How do you guys decide what events to go to for the year?
It's kind of what track you want to go to, right?
Yeah, kind of what track and what the scheduling's like. So we can kind of lead into this. So this was kind of an issue when I started, because I wasn't from here. Like before this started, I'm originally from Pennsylvania. So I came out, didn't know a single person, started doing media. That's how I found drifting. Then I bought a drift car. Now we're here. But anyways, along that way, it's like, how do you find an event? Like we were saying, we went to Auto City and we went to Toledo, or not Toledo.
We did go to Toledo.
Oh yeah, we did go to Toledo a couple times. But it's like, there's Drift Indy that's doing events 4 hours away in Ohio, and I didn't even know that existed, type of thing. And it was all just Facebook, word of mouth, that type of thing. So about 3 years ago, I had the idea to do a website where you could find all that kind of stuff. And then about, I think beginning of last year is when I launched it. So it's essentially, you go to the website, you can pull up your zip code or just look at a map, driftmaps.com. So if you go on there, you can find most of the events in your area. I'm manually inputting all of them. That way the data is like right. So there's a bunch that I'm totally missing. But that's what I've been using. A lot of other people have been using it too.
It's the whole United States, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So you probably have, I assume you, so if you're listening to this right now and you have an event, somebody go to the website and reach out to you.
Yeah, they can like submit it on there. Or a lot of people, they just like DM me on Instagram and they're like, hey, can you put this? That works just as easy. It doesn't really matter to me. But yeah, I'm trying to grow that. So it's like one resource. You just go on there. You can even just like click a button and it'll download to your phone calendar. So it's like, you don't even have to think about it.
You can get hotels on there too, right?
Yeah, get hotels. I'm trying to get like partners. So there's a couple partners that you can get discounts on tires. And some other stuff like that.
That's legit.
Yeah, just trying to grow it so more people use it, and then we can hopefully put back into the website. And
it's super frustrating. As I do some motorsport stuff, and it's like sometimes I don't know about these events that are going on right in my backyard, even. So unless I'm out Googling or trying to figure it out, it's
if
really
you don't
hard.
have Facebook, there's like no way you'll know there's a drift event happening.
Well, people who don't have Facebook probably won't hear this either. So
yeah, well, maybe.
I've wanted to get rid of Facebook so many times, but
dude, you can't get rid of Marketplace either. I can't. Same thing with me. Like I find myself on there and I'm like, this is dumb or it's sucking my time. But then, like, how am I going to find car parts?
Yeah,
some bullshit. I'm here in Michigan. My thing is changed.
You're looking for cars here? And
I look for cars everywhere I go.
Man,
there's a ton out here.
Yeah, no, there's right now I'm looking for like K-member stuff for. I'm doing a Coyote Swap 93 Cobra at home, and then I'm playing around with the turbo coupe. So I've been looking at some of that stuff. And there's more shit here than there is back home.
Yeah, you got to add yourself to the Milan drag strip buy and sell page.
Okay,
that'll have a ton of stuff like that on.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because like this is our fourth time here in Detroit in less than a year. Like we come through here frequently now.
Dude,
This is
I'm
like our
with
second
a
home.
trailer right now. Like let's not go home with
Load
it
it up and
halfway
Other
loaded.
stuff.
Well, I also drove separately. Like you could fill up my whole entire GTI with whatever. So if you're selling anything,
It's got to be small though, right?
yeah. But he's got the trailer for the big stuff.
Okay,
So, yeah. You could technically have the wife drive.
You
one
could
of the
take
cars,
a
too.
drift car home.
You're probably going to need to ship your car soon, or know somebody that will. And as someone who used to work in freight logistics, I understand the difficulties of finding reliable transport, especially when trying to make it to rallies, racetracks, or to warehouse to hide your Corvette because you're going through a messy divorce, and when she says everything, she means everything. Anywho, Nick Shearer is the proud owner of Sure Thing Logistics. Having traveled much of the country with every type of vehicle you can imagine, he's got the experience and reliability that you want to ensure a safe journey for your pride and joy. If you want to find out what it takes to ship your vehicle, go to surethlinglogistics.net, fill out the intake form, and be sure to let him know I sent you. Let's get back to the show.
I totally could. The Bronco drives, so I could kick it off the trailer or drive a drift car home.
Yeah. Well, you guys selling any drift cars? What's going on?
I mean, they're always for sale, I guess.
Okay.
It's something that
We saw this one. Vance isn't going to drive it for a while.
Yeah.
I've been wanting to go out and mess with. I don't know, my wife's got a 2013 Gotta Have a Green Mustang.
Oh, nice.
That we have a Pro Charger on, and I thought that would be a good one that I should be able to kick it sideways pretty easy, and I wanted to just go out and play around with it and see.
Those electric rack cars?
Yeah, so that's the only thing with those. People drive with them. It's just different than a normal hydraulic rack
It's very
car.
difficult.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, really? With electric rack, it's harder, huh?
Yeah, because it's
Okay.
like it's not really like programmed to do that. So when you're like trying to do the self-steer and stuff, it's like it doesn't know that you're trying to do that.
It's just like snow drifting. Like you've probably snow drifted where you keep
Oh yeah,
one
snow
hand on the
drifting. I'm a
wheel.
pro at,
Yeah.
right? Because I've lived up
Yeah,
here.
so that's how the Mustang drives. But at least we have like the Gem Sport car we have has an electric rack, and it is a nightmare to try to drift.
Until you get
because
used
of
to it.
The
Yeah.
I don't know if the newer cars are like this, but there's like a what I call is a caster arm on the knuckle, and then it bolts to like the.
I'm not super familiar with the front knuckles, to be honest.
Do you have any idea about the front suspension?
No, I mean I know of it, but I don't know what would make it better or worse for drifting.
I don't want to dive too deep into that, but
Yeah.
basically there's like two arms on there. One of them, there's two ball joints in the knuckle. So as you rotate the car, that one arm is changing. I don't want anybody like flaming for saying this wrong, but like
Something with
I think it
caster?
changes caster as you rotate the wheel. So in drifting form, you sling the car this way and that way, so you're always counter steering. Well, because of that arm, the way that it moves, what will happen is your what I'll call is a lead wheel. So if you're drifting this way, for everybody on the camera, if you're drifting this way and your wheels are this way, when you go to turn this way, this wheel will turn less than this wheel because of the pressure loaded on the knuckle.
Okay.
And then you need the lead wheel to turn more. That's a whole nother conversation, but
Changes Ackerman.
yeah, basically you'll spin out. That's
Okay.
what I was trying to get at.
All right, so
In
that
stock form.
that kind of makes sense because I played around with my S550 that I had. I have messed around with my wife's car just out in like an empty parking lot, and that is usually where I end up. I'm like, how do these guys do that and control it into that slide, right? So maybe if I started with, or I got a Z and went out and messed around, I would have an easier time with something like that. You're
Oh,
saying?
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you could get used to it in your car. People drift
Right.
them all the time.
That's what I figured. I mean, I go and I mess around a little bit. I haven't like put like a good half a day into like doing it, but it doesn't seem as easy as I thought it would be.
Yeah, and especially being like Pro Charge, you're gonna have a lot of power.
Yeah.
Which that's gonna be.
A whole nother animal.
Yeah, people think, oh, if I have the most power, it's gonna be easier to drift. It's like it's actually the opposite when you're learning. Yeah, it's
Okay.
easier to like get the car drifting, but then once you're at that point, you're steering with the throttle a lot of the time, and it's people just don't understand that part when they're learning.
But you need the momentum.
Yeah,
That's the part with like having too much power is it's easy for you to light the car off and get sideways, but you don't have the momentum to control it. So the slower you're going, the harder it's going to be to maintain a drift because you have so much wheel speed that the car basically loads itself up front to rear is the way I like to explain it.
Yeah.
just like if you're doing donuts in the snow or something.
Yeah. Same. It's
like
easy
easy
to
to
spin
just-
on the
That's
snow.
usually I end up into
Yeah.
a donut, right? Like
Yep.
that's where
Exactly.
it gets me.
That's because you need to go faster.
Okay.
Or with a Mustang, truthfully, it's not worth the time to try and drift it with stock knuckles.
Right.
Like Mustangs are typically cars that you just throw angle kit on and then never worry about it again.
Okay.
Especially if you're a driver in other aspects too, and that's another thing.
Well,
maybe we
that's
should talk
that's the
about.
other problem. I like road course, so
You're the type
if
person
I'm drifting, it's a problem.
if you're the type of person that you have enough driving experience where you wouldn't see any negatives just going right to a car that has an angle kit all the suspension and a handbrake, you would benefit more from that. Like Luke, for example, Luke drives pre-runners, right? Well, he jumped right into a Z that was ready to go, and I think he was drifting in like 2 laps.
Yeah, he was fine.
Yeah, so
if you've got a semi-understanding of vehicle dynamics and racing of some sort, that could bring you into another level slightly. It gives you a little bit of an advantage.
Yeah, even like if you do motocross or ATVs or something like that too would help.
You're basically not wanting a car you don't want a Swiss Army knife. You want something a little bit more specific to drifting then.
Yeah, like you'll set it up for drifting. Like you wouldn't use like a road course setup or autocross setup on a drift car.
I'm not driving my mom's Caravan to school during the day and then drifting on the weekends. Okay.
If you're Ken Block, maybe, I guess.
Yeah. Let's talk setup a little bit. Okay, so you mentioned earlier, like, you know, that extra little bit of cash for quality parts. What's an example of some quality parts that's just night and day difference?
Like I said earlier, probably coilovers. I don't know. Have you ever driven on like junk coilovers?
Oh, of course. Yeah, definitely.
You can definitely just tell that it's like bouncy, and like also the car just reacts different too. Either just bumps on the track or just as you're changing angle, the whole car is moving. I think coilovers is a huge one.
So what choice of coilovers do you go with?
I use silvers on my car. I've been just working with them for probably about 6 years. So I've had the same set actually for 6 years on my car, and then I recently put it on the daily, and then I got a set of 2-ways for my more competition car. And Josh uses BCs.
Yeah.
So both great companies. There's some advantages of one versus the other, but
yeah. I mean, I don't have any like ties to BC or anything, but I've driven on Feel as a brand. I've driven on BCs, but never silvers. Besides, actually, I've driven your car and Dylan's car. But I think the big thing between cheap coilovers and nice ones is that in my opinion, I think what they do on like when you buy Max Peeing rods is
I got a few emails from them trying to sponsor.
Really?
That's what I first had on my car.
Yeah.
It seems like they're trying to come up and become more of a reputable brand, but I think what they do is they have a cheap shock and a way overpowered spring, so it feels good at a base. But like when you get deeper into drifting, you need to be able to use the shock. Like with dampening, is pretty big the further you get into it.
I would think like the magic is in the
shock.
Yeah. The shock, the spring is a spring. There's obviously upgraded springs like Swift and stuff like that, but for the most part, I think it's the valving and like what the materials they use in the shock, even just like shock shaft diameter, like Max Speeding rods versus like one of these, just the diameter, like those break all the time. You see horror stories of people driving and they just break because they're super tiny or bad materials.
Yeah.
Just like your normal car, like you go to the parts store, you can get the $20 set of shocks or the $50. It's like you make a decision.
Right.
$50's not that bad for shocks. It's like, do you chance on the $20 ones? I don't know.
Well, does BC have like a drift specific, or do they have different levels as well? Because I know in the like just performance Mustang side, like let's say I'm gonna hop on lethalperformance.com and order some coilovers, the BC racing ones in that world would be like an entry level. So, but in the drifting, they would be like more of a higher level, or is it just Mustangs are too heavy to do that kind of stuff with? Or
you're saying like if you'd select Mustang,
so like they would want you, normally they would push you towards like, you would Roush, right? Like you would go towards like Coney or Steeda or something like that. If you look, the BC is normally the lower option.
Because of price or just?
I guess price. I've had a set of BCs on a car, blew a rear shock out. I still have the front coilovers on the car. I love them, but the rear shock blew out on me on a Mustang, doing a road rally, so rough road all over the place. And of course, it was like 2 weeks after the 1 year warranty on them. So
did the shock blow or did that mount blow?
It's leaking all over the place. I thought I had blown something, like I was leaking diff fluid or brake fluid or something. So I go back there and it was just the shock. So now it's got Vikings on the rear, but I'm still running the BCs in the front.
It's probably the version. So like I don't know what version those were, but like
that's kind of what I'm getting. They have different levels to their stuff.
Yeah. I know with silvers, like if you want custom valving or custom spring rates or shock length, they'll build them for you. I think BC is obviously the same way.
Yeah, you can get custom.
And you can call and ask them the recommendations, but it could be like, hey, their push in marketing is drifting and maybe road course or something where maybe they're not really into the Mustang space yet, pushing for drag racing or something like that.
I probably could have reached out. I mean, it was pretty close. I think if I'd have emailed them or something, I could have they would have been taking care of me. I had no idea. I mean, I'm not bashing them in any way, shape, or form.
It's more so the application that you're talking about.
Correct. Yeah. And I had come across a good deal on some Vikings at a show that I was at, so I just made that move.
Mm-hmm. Dan's a good deal kind of guy.
Yeah.
Are Vikings good?
Yeah.
I just put some on that Thunderbird.
They're local to us, and their customer service, I mean, they're based out of Minnesota there. And I've been on the track with them at some events. They're pretty involved in motorsports in general.
Big on the muscle car side of things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was curious because they, I'm on one world and kind of like you're saying,
so I'm saying we're probably playing in two different pools.
So I wasn't sure. Like I just put them on that car and I'm like, are these cheap? Like I don't know. Like I think it's got compression and rebound dampening on the shock. And I was like, they're putting that on there, so obviously it's got to be somewhat okay. But the way that the collar system is, it's like kind of cheap, it seems, in my opinion.
It depends. It probably is like a tier thing too. Like
yeah, just like you're saying, it just depends on what level shock you want to buy.
Right.
Like one of our friends, or one of the people we had on the show, like he's put Vikings in 2,000 horsepower drag Vipers. Like it's just it comes down to the application and how crazy do it. Like I'm sure there's some. What's the most expensive coilover you've seen on a drift car? I'm sure it gets outrageous.
3-ways, right?
Yeah, I mean, isn't like MCS and like something like that super expensive?
Oh, it's an acronym.
I mean, you could spend 10 grand on coilovers for sure.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
So okay, so you touched on coilover quality. So what's another thing that you realized, like when you upgraded, your life got better?
Well, it kind of reliability wise, because like I would say first step, like he was saying in stages, is you want to make sure everything's reliable. So if you are adding power, you need to take care of the drivetrain.
Sure.
So either if you need to upgrade the trans or clutch, do that.
The basics, really.
Yeah, I mean, people have good luck with eBay clutches as long as you get the right one. But like I would go with like a trusted brand or something. And then like for me, one of the biggest things was swapping to a differential and axles that could take the power. Okay. Because I was on a stock axle and diff setup for probably 4 years of being swapped, and the last however remaining, I've been on like an 8.8 from a Ford Explorer.
Oh, okay.
With upgraded axles.
Yeah, I mean, you were running like twice the power those axles were rated for.
Yeah, like it came in like a 190 horsepower car, and it's
now it's a 550 wheel horsepower car.
Yeah.
So you went to an 8.8.
Yeah, from 07.
Yeah, they're a great.
Explorer.
They're super common, swapping about anything. Yep. They're a rock solid option.
Yeah, I would.
Sitting right here.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that's a 7.5.
But the IRS one though.
Didn't see the cover.
That's the GTO ran.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, I think it's 7.5.
So let's talk about diffs then for a quick second, because you had mentioned a welded diff. Mm-hmm. Now, I'm familiar with the limited slip. That's cool and all, but I'd imagine doing what you're doing, it's just a matter of time before you're wearing that out anyway, right? So are you good with LSD? Like, is that a good solid option? Do we want to go welded? And then if I go welded, can I just roll up to a shop and be like, hey, weld this? Do I just take the cover off and close my eyes and stick a Harbor Freight welder in there? Like, what does that look like?
I mean, you could, for sure. Like,
yes to all the above.
Yeah, so like, I mean, it depends on what you want. So typically LSDs require a lot more service. Like a welded diff, for example, I welded a diff in my car 3 or 4 years ago, and I don't think that I've changed the fluid, if I'm being honest, right? Because it doesn't, the LSD packs aren't in there. It's not super important. Mm-hmm. Whereas if you did have an LSD, typically in drifting, for like a Nissan rear end, I have a 350Z diff in my car. LSD, you get one way, 1.5, or 2-way. I think they're like $1,200 for just the LSD portion, and then you have to pay somebody to assemble it or assemble it yourself. So you could be $2,000 into a diff pretty easily.
Okay.
And then you also have to warm that diff up to get the LSD working right. You have to maintain the fluid. So it all kind of depends on what you want. Whereas,
like welded's always consistent. It's always welded
just
unless you break it.
Okay.
Yeah.
The only thing would be is that if this car is also your daily, that might get a little bit annoying. But if it's kind of more dedicated drift, then that seems like the better option.
Even a lot of like higher up LSDs, that they're typically very aggressive. Okay. So if you were to like I actually had a 2-way in my Skyline, and I thought it was broke because of the way that it, if you know anything about LSDs, like the way the pin system works, it like the way it rocks, like as I'm turning, it would still get that chirpy that you would get out of a welded.
Okay.
Then the axles had a lot of knock, and maybe mine was broke. I don't know. I mean, it worked, but maybe it was just wore out.
Yeah, there's a certain amount of lash, right, that they will automatically put in there.
But a welded diff is, you could, like, basically you said, yeah, you pull the cover off, you weld it, and then you go on about your day. It doesn't cost you $2,000.
You can buy like 3 welded diffs for the price of LSD, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you could get something already welded, or if I went to like, I'm probably not going to go to like a muffler shop, but if I found a local like performance shop, or even if you reached out to my drift community, they would know somebody. There might even be somebody who'd be like, hey, roll over to Jim Bob's shop, he'll help you out or whatever.
Yeah, it's like $100. You get your diff welded.
Okay.
Well, if you dropped it off, if you brought one here, we'd weld it for $100.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's say your car's all reliable. You got that all sorted out. So what's next? How do you continue improving? Because obviously seat time, like that's like the non-negotiable.
That's the biggest thing that you should spend money on.
That's kind of standard in any motorsport. Yeah, just get in the car, put 1,000 hours into it, you'll be good. But that aside, let's say you've got a few hundred hours into drifting, and now you're starting to get a little bit of extra money because you got that $2 raise at McDonald's, and it's like, let's do this. You upgrade your coilovers. What's next?
You don't use a computer from 2006, so why should your build? Why put thousands of dollars into your project only to be limited by a stock ECU that's over a decade old? Even some OEM calibrators are impressed with modern-day functionality of standalones featuring advanced launch control, traction control, and of course, for those who aren't fans of unscheduled rapid disassembly, engine protection features. Go to TuneByShawn, SHAWN.com, look at some of the plug-and-play kits available and various Haltech goodies you can save 5% on using code Minnoxide. Not a bad idea to shoot him a message either. Link in description. Let's get back to the show.
I'd say it depends on what you're trying to do. Tires make a huge difference. Like I was saying earlier, if you want to just go out and drive all weekend, maybe you invest in a tire that lasts longer. But maybe you're doing competition and you need one that's grippier and lasts longer or whatever. That would be a good thing to start investing money in. But also, as you're more in tune with your car, you're like, man, I don't really like how it feels at a certain part of the track. And you can change that either with steering, maybe there's a bushing or something that's adjustable where your factory component is not. So it's really specific on what you want to do to make it better for your feel or however you want the car to drive.
With tires too, it's kind of like you said, like seat time is key, but seat time is only key when you set yourself up right? Like with seat time, you're looking for repeatability. So you're not going to get that out of, like the example I used earlier, of just getting tires from the tire shop. They're always different. Rubber compounds are different. So that's where you would want to start buying the same tire, right? Like over and over, buy the same tire. Then you check that off your list. Like every lap I know, if I have some sort of difference in my lap, kind of like what Chad's saying, you can trust that it's not the tire because you're used to the tire, right? You put the time in with the tire. So then you could move to the next step and say, okay, maybe I should make a suspension change. And now we're moving into the whole coilover thing, right? Where you could soften damping or make the damping harder based on how the track feels to you. And that's where those two things would kind of play together.
Okay. That's the first time we've heard that, by the way. Just keep your setup the same and learn that.
Right, it makes sense because you need the consistency to know that variable, right? So is there something with a tire that I would notice? So I'm just going to put it into something I know, road course, right? I've been on the track a lot of times with Michelin PS4s. They're really good for the street. They're okay for the track. I mean, they're like a Swiss Army knife of tire, as Harris always calls it. But when I knew that my driving started to, I was pushing the car hard enough to where the tire wasn't going to work for me anymore, it would get greasy on the track. I was finally driving it hard enough to get them hot enough. It was, I would slide in corners that I wasn't before. So now I know I need new grip. Is there something that is a key sign that it's time, that's my next step?
Yeah, like I'd say when you're looking for a good drift tire is like, you don't want it to chunk, you don't want it to bubble.
Okay.
Yeah. Because then once that happens, you can't really, I mean, you can drive on the tire, but you're just sitting in there the whole time. Right. It's not fun.
Alignment is big too.
Yeah, alignment of the wear changes the wear. But yeah, there's certain brands that are better, or there's certain compounds that are better for drifting, where if you take like a road race tire, it might not last drifting because it gets too hot.
It's gonna be a problem real quick.
Yeah, and like drift tires have thicker treads usually.
Or if you think of like siping, I don't know if you know what siping is, like the cuts in the tire, certain siping is better for rain, just what's that word called? Like distortion or whatever it would be.
Displacement, I think. Yeah.
The tread pattern does matter too with the way that the heat comes off of the tire as well. So That's a big thing with Chad, like chunking. If you overheat the tire and drifting, because the tire's seeing like prolonged overspin, it will start to boil, and then that tire will actually fall off. Whereas probably in like road racing, you're used to just seeing, like you're saying, the tire will get greasy.
Yeah,
a lot of times
the rubber crumblies.
Yeah, so in drifting, the tire will literally just stay so hot that it will just chunk off. Like the outer layer will separate.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what's your go-to tire? Do you guys use the same tire or?
We've used a lot of the same tires. It really depends on what you're going after.
What you want out of the day.
Yeah. So you guys have been running the 351s a lot. I've been running those too. They're great if you need to get a lot of laps. There's other brands. If you want more grip, like we just got some Zastinos. We're going to try those out this weekend and see how they are. We've never driven on this exact compound. I've driven on a similar tire or same brand, just a different compound.
Okay.
And then there's also like Kenda tires, a big one in the space. And that one's like kind of the go-to OG drift tire almost.
Yeah, it handles heat really well.
Yeah.
It has good consistent grip all the way down. Like that's something you'd look for too, is how much grip the tire has at 100% of its life and how much it has at, we don't usually run tires that are leveled past probably 10%.
Yeah.
But you want grip to be the same throughout that range, as well as you want the tire throughout that range to handle the heat. So like Chad just mentioned, Kendas are a good tire. I was actually planning on running Kendas for this event. And then Chad's been working, driving on Zastinos, right?
Yeah. Like I usually have a really serious like grip problem, and I will just destroy tires in my car. And I ran the 340 of these, and just like the 351s though too, they lasted on my car as well. These just seemed a little grippier than them. This is a different compound. This is like a 300 tread wear, where the other one's a 340 tread wear. Hopefully these last just as good. We'll find out, I guess, this weekend. But
well, you guys have probably run, like your car's probably significantly lighter than his car, right?
Yeah.
So you're gonna eat tires.
That's kind of the issue. And I have like instant torque. So as soon as I'm hitting the gas, 500 foot-pounds. It's not like you got to wait for anything.
There's a lot of factors too that play into like tire wear as well, like vehicle weight, gearing, power, alignment.
Yeah, like the percent of like your wheel speed over ground speed type of thing, like how much you're overspinning it.
That's what I meant by like overspinning. It's like that's kind of what drifting is in a way. It's like you are overspinning the tire no matter how you look at it. It's like the amount of ratio that you overspin the tire is how quick or not quick it will wear.
Mm-hmm.
So I have another really stupid question. I would assume that if you're drifting, it's manual transmission or something. Like you're not doing that in an automatic.
Yeah,
or is that
people do it in an automatic, but you're not gonna be
good at it.
You'd almost it would need to be something like a 6R80 with paddle shifters or something, so you can change gears when you need to, or
you really want to clutch, ideally.
Yeah,
that's what I would think.
That's why usually you will see manuals until you get to a point where you need a sequential, but you don't see sequentials in Grassroots.
Yeah, with the automatic, I would.
Well, not when they're $25,000 each, right?
Yeah, exactly.
They would be like more momentum driving, where you're not clutch kicking, you're not doing that type of stuff. It's got to be.
You need to be able to have that intermittent delay of the clutch, and let's say you had an automatic, right, and you had a handbrake. Well, if you're in drive and you pull the handbrake, the wheels don't just get free. They're continuing to drive the vehicle. So the handbrake's not actually going to lock the wheels up.
Right.
It's just going to slow the car down. So you need a clutch to disconnect the drive line so that you can lock the rear wheels up.
Oh, that makes sense, actually. Yeah.
Well, I was always trying to think, like, how would I initiate a drift? Like, I can imagine doing it without a brake, but only with a clutch, right? Like, I can have an idea of downshift a little bit, pushing the clutch, give her some goose and go.
Well, just give me the GT500. I'll show you.
Yeah.
You could just give you can give it a flick to get it to kind of get loose, maybe without a clutch, but
you could for sure.
It's a lot easier.
But in competition,
it's not repeatable.
Yeah.
Right.
It'd get difficult. I could see that being tricky.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of automatics do seem to have a lag, right, between when you put the foot down and when it actually.
Well, that's another. The torque converter lockup is another thing. Yeah.
Okay, so no automatics.
Unless you want to spend $25,000.
Yeah.
On an automatic.
Do you guys see yourself going sequential at any point, or
no?
Unless you're buying it.
No.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, okay, so the sport's obviously growing, right? But at the end of the day, the prize pots aren't going to be what fund this.
No.
Do you guys see yourself getting to that next level? Do you just like where you're at? Like,
if anyone listening wants to sponsor us, that would be awesome. But
I would do it if somebody paid for it.
Right.
Yeah, so it's kind of like, most of it, or probably all of it is paid by yourself, unless you do have some partners where you can get maybe free parts or you get some money from them. But it really depends on who you're working with and how far that they can go and what you can provide for them. So it's pretty difficult.
Sure. I think you could have your own podcast just talking about, like, we could have our own podcast each about talking about experiences with sponsors.
Sure.
Yeah.
You can dive really deep into that, but sponsors are a huge play. And I, in my opinion, I think the sponsors you should be seeking are companies that fit your brand, right?
Correct.
Like who you are.
Well, consumables is the first one I hear from everybody in motorsports. That's just the first thing you want sponsored.
Right.
Yeah. Like if you had a tire sponsor, that would be like with free tires. Like
That'd be perfect.
You guys have a spot. I mean, yeah, like I work with Resist, through Distinct Drift, and you guys work through Tire Streets.
Yep. So we get a discount on tires, which helps dramatically. You know, when you're buying, I mean, his tire budget's double mine, but
like another team aspect, we just bundled on like 40 tires or something.
Yeah, like 40, 50 tires.
Yeah, and saved on shipping.
The pallets of tires where we got here.
So you get a discount when you buy in a bundle too. So that's another thing. We probably buy, I don't know what my tire budget was. It doesn't matter to me, but I think it was like $5,000 is my tire budget for the year. Like I said, his is probably double.
I go through like 100 tires a year, roughly.
Yeah.
But maybe not this year because I've only went through like 20 tires, and that's crazy. So again, you spend maybe $40 more a tire, but it'll last longer.
Yeah.
It seems dumb, but it's worth it in the end.
Right.
And then you also got to think about when you're at the track, it's not like we could have our own tire machine, but lugging that around, blah, 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 it's not worth it. So typically you just pay the event organizer to change your tires, which is $10 to $15 per tire. And then on average, like myself, I have 6 wheels. So that's something interesting we didn't really talk about actually, is that when you go drifting at a higher level, you don't want to just go there with just the 4 wheels that are on your car, right? Like it's good to have, at least as a moderate beginner, to have an extra set of rear wheels with tires ready to go. So you can, what we call is heat cycle them. So you would do like, let's say 10 laps on the pair that are on your car that you show up with, and then you would swap them out for your other set and then do 10 laps on that. And then if you're trying to drive all day, you can keep switching that, and then you'll maximize longevity on that tire or on those 4 tires.
Because just like they'll heat cycle for like road racing.
Yeah.
I think they do that. Like there's a service through Tire Rack, I think, where you can get them like preheat cycled. Yeah, it's like 4, because like what happens is, I'm not like a chemist or anything like that, but it literally rearranges like the structure of the tire so it lasts longer. Like I don't know if there's any more to it than that, but I think that's what it is. That's what we're doing with heat cycle.
I have heard of that too. I still think that like lap 1 or like warm up lap is, usually you're going out for, at least in what I do, you'll go out for a qualifying lap or something like that, which, by then you come back in, let things cool down. Yeah, I feel like that's your heat cycle.
Yeah.
Maybe on a super professional level, maybe that's not the case, but
they probably use tire warmers at that point, right?
Yeah.
Like you're saying, what to spend your money on, buying extra wheels would be awesome. Like you're saying, if you think you're going to use 6 sets of tires, put in your budget to buy 6 sets of wheels, so you don't have to pay the tire guy. You don't have to sit there and wait. You just go grab another set. You can go drive
Well,
again.
if it's $10-15 a wheel, like it adds up pretty quick.
Yeah, it adds up, and you got to wait. And there's certain driver groups, so like there's usually tiers A, B, and C groups, the kind of generic thing. So if your session's an hour long and you go drive, you wait and grid, you got to come back, change tires, you might miss some of your driving just because
if you only had one set.
Yeah, right. Because you got to wait for the tire machine.
Can you keep? So if I have 6, can I keep? Do I start with? So the rears, I assume, go before the fronts. Do I move the fronts to the rears? Put the new ones in the front. Do I keep that kind of a cycle going, or how does that work?
I don't know how often you replace your fronts.
I go through 2 sets of fronts a season. So the first half
fronts, you just never mess with them.
You don't usually a different tire in the front too.
Because it's a different compound. Like in the front, you would run more of a higher or softer compound tire, and they don't wear that much. Especially as a beginner, like I used to get a couple seasons out of a set of tires, but as you get better, you start driving faster. You start using the front tire more because. In my opinion, ideally, you want the car to 4-wheel slide, right? Which creates drag on the front tire, wears it down, blah, blah, blah. So at the point we're at now, we're kind of doing more of that. So the tires wear more.
Okay. Guess I never even really, that's another question we've never really asked or talked about. All of these tires you guys burn up, and it's 90% of it is on just the rear.
Yes. Yeah.
Is this your first drift episode with me, by the way?
Yeah, but we never really talked about front tires or that, did we?
No, well, we had.
No, we had Max. I was never had been on with Trey.
Yeah, you don't know.
Max
okay.
Odegaard.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you were here.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just like, so Dan came on in episode 55 when my last co-host became a communist and moved to California. So, and then I went 10 episodes solo, and then Dan came on in episode 55 and we're good to go. Anyways, that's why I asked that question.
Should we throw a cut in there just in case you want to take that out?
No, Sean knows I love him.
I don't want any communists mad at you.
No, it's okay. He knows I love him. But anyways,
Right.
Okay. So speaking of wheels, do you guys have a choice of wheel? I mean, do you want lighter wheels? I imagine, right?
Yeah, lighter is definitely better, but it's really more of a style thing. Like, what do you want your car to look like?
Yeah,
Sure.
Wheels are what makes
It's
it
not always function with you drifters.
Yeah. Yeah, there's certain brands that again are pushing themselves in drifting. There's certain brands that have been around for a while. As long as you get a quality brand, I think that's probably the best.
Do we need it to be forged? Are we cool with flow form? Does it? We're not talking B blocks.
Mine are flow formed. I've had cast wheels too. They're just heavier and like they'll chunk more. I've had issues where if you hit something hard enough, they'll just kind of come apart in pieces. Where my flow form ones maybe bend more. I don't know if it's just wheel brand type thing, but
so what?
I've bent a few flow formed ones, so yeah.
Yeah.
I've also bent some forged ones, so it's.
But I've had flow form ones chunk as well, so it's like
right.
It depends on what you do, I guess.
So then, do you guys have choices?
Yeah, I've been running Koenig on my car for probably 5 years.
Yeah, I do love Koenigs. I've always been. I've been through Koenigs
on my car right now, and then my daily has I think Hexaform.
That's why I got Hexaforms for the GTI. They're just not on it right now. I didn't want to waste the tire life.
Yeah, they're pretty light for what they are. They're pretty affordable. So.
I think they're the first or second lightest wheel that Koenig offers, at least for the GTI. I'm not sure. There's other options probably for you, but and then how about yourself?
So I run like Ray's Graham lights pretty commonly, or like work wheels.
Yeah. God, I love those too.
I've even had like 3-piece wheels, so I think that's something with wheels that, I might answer a little bit what I think you're trying to ask is like typically a 3-piece wheel has a different type of barrel that makes it like really hard to change tires.
Sure.
So again, like if you're at the track changing tires, you don't want to be fighting 3-piece wheels because the way that the tire seats on the barrel makes it difficult to get it off. And then because they're chrome, typically like chrome lipped, you don't want to scratch them. So you have to be super delicate and just takes so long that's where we usually end up with like these are called monoblocks, right?
Yeah.
Like a monoblock wheel.
Yeah.
But Chad has actually got me in the aspect of thinking about switching to Koenigs, however you say it, because I'd like to go to a smaller wheel. So like I run 10.5-inch wheels and 9.5-inch wheels, and that creates like a lot of stretch with the tire sizes that we run. So I can't drop down on a lot of pressure, which is something I've learned from Chad is like the more square your setup is, aka like if I had a 9-inch wheel on a 245 or a 265, the tire would be straight paired with the stiffer sidewall. I could drop more pressure and actually utilize the tire instead of utilizing the sidewall of the tire.
And it depends on the wheel. So different wheels have different kind of lip geometry and like bead seat.
Yep.
So like the new Koenigs, I don't know if yours have them, but they have little knurling on the beads. So when you do drop pressure, they won't spin, they won't come off as easy. A lot of wheel companies are starting to do that.
Yeah, that's what I have a set of.
They make it harder to mount for sure, but
I don't know. I don't rate. So I have a tire machine that I use. So I have a business. I have a lot of work trailers and stuff. So like trailer tires, it's just like your basic.
Those are pretty easy, big sidewall.
Yeah, but when I've got my $2,000 a piece forged wheels and I'm putting tires on like this, I just take them to somebody because I'm gonna scratch it.
You want that warranty?
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna be pissed off when I go to do it. Not to mention like seating the bead or trying to get one of those tires off is a huge pain in the ass.
Yeah, seated at like 110 psi and like look
right, exactly. I'm all for like truck tires and trailer tires, which I also do a lot, or any of my Fox body stuff. I'll take a 15-inch freaking 195 off of anything. I don't really give a shit and swap tires around, but yeah, it's not any of that stuff. I just take to somebody. It's easier.
Okay, so Stan, who introduced me to you, he kind of gave me a little bit on your background. So
he's coming out this weekend.
Yeah, I'm gonna link up with him.
Okay.
Actually, he introduced me.
He's coming in Thursday, I think he said.
Correct. Okay. Yeah. So he actually introduced me to the Cannonball Garage guys. So I'm gonna be having them on Friday, and Stan helped coordinate that whole thing. Which super
He
cool.
like knows everyone. He's got some good connections.
Well, he's the reason I ended up having Luke on the show as well, the Cyber Runner guy. So nonetheless, super awesome dude. I'm gonna meet him in person for the first time. So internet friends.
You never met Stan?
Is he the Heatwave guy?
He was the one.
He was at Grid Life Midwest, right?
Yeah.
With Heatwave?
Yes, yeah.
Oh, okay. That's what I thought.
What's his Instagram handle? Why am I blank? It's like
That's why I never know his name.
Stasiak or
I don't
something
know.
like that. Stanislaw?
I didn't meet him until Grid Life.
Yeah, Stanislaw something. Yeah,
Stanislaw, something like that?
Yeah, it's okay. He's not getting shit for this later. It's fine. Anyways, he was telling me that you're also an engineer by trade, right? Mm-hmm. What's your background in that?
So I went to, college. I went to Penn State for mechanical engineering.
Sure.
And then I got hired right out of college for Roush.
Okay.
And then
Did you just want to be in the automotive world, or how'd that work out?
Yeah, so this is like kind of not weird, but so my dad, he took photos for NASCAR for a long time, and Jack Roush was in the pits all the time. When I was in high school, I was like, I wanted to become a mechanic or something like that, and they said, well, what other things could you go for? And he asked Jack Roush, he's like, hey, my son's into cars, he's good at math, he likes this, what should he go for? And he said, mechanical engineering. So that's what I went to college for, and now I work for him. So it's like, it's kind of weird. But yeah, I never like said I wanted to be an engineer. I just was into cars, and I always wanted to be like a test driver or something. So if you saw the ZR1 thing, the test driver got to drive that at the Nürburgring. So it's like, that's pretty cool. So that's, I think, why I kind of went down that route.
Okay.
What do you have anything you're working on at Roush? Like, what do you?
That's like getting shit canned.
So like I can do all the stuff I've already like released.
Sure.
So I started at Roush Performance like a year after I started at Roush. But like the JRE, the Jack Roush edition, we had an active spoiler on that. Okay. That was my design for the spoiler. I've done supercharger kits, so like the 2650 kits for the F-150. I've done fender flares, mainly exhaust systems is what I do as well. Air induction systems, like injection molded parts, electrical harnesses. I'm kind of just do everything for them.
Well, I'm curious.
There's a couple of us. It's not just me. But I definitely am well-rounded in everything that we've done since like 2018.
Do you do stuff like SEMA Garage and all that stuff then too?
I was at SEMA Garage today, actually.
Okay.
I was doing an interview with Bill from Turn 14. So he used to be the host for CJ Pony Parts. Bill Tumas, I don't know his last name. But yeah, so SEMA Garage, if you guys have been there yet or no?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, we had them on the show actually. Ben.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So SEMA Garage is cool because they have an emissions dyno. They have a dyno like a Mustang and ground dyno. I think it's a Mustang dyno. Might not be Mustang brand, but same style. But that whole room is like not temperature controlled, but they can change that fan speed and recycle the air in there. That's crazy.
That's like the emissions part of it, or?
The emissions lab doesn't. They still can recycle the air, but like the power run side, it's like an enclosed room, and they have these huge like tubes, like
it's not like any dyno cell I've ever been in. It's crazy.
It's a dyno cell.
Yeah, it's like a whole. It's kind of like the one that was at Nostrum.
So are they kind of?
Nostrum one is also very awesome.
But it's better than the Nostrum one.
Yeah,
it's newer. It's newer.
No, we saw the Nostrum one, and then we went to SEMA Garage after that, and I was like, damn.
It's just different. Private company, SEMA.
What did you guys do at Nostrum?
Huh?
What did you guys do at Nostrum?
We did a podcast over there with Sam when he was Sam Barros, episode 110. So we did an episode actually in their dyno room with a gold GTR in the background. So
I got to sit in that GTR while he did a data log in that dyno cell with Sam Barros.
So funny story with them, we did some work with them, and they ran our Mustang on their dyno for like 200 hours. We were doing some durability testing.
Yeah. Because they can turn that thing all the way down to like negative 30 degrees too.
Oh, I didn't even know
they can temperature control that one.
Was that one temperature controlled?
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's what I was going to ask, if that's what they're doing, so they can put the vehicle in different IoT sections.
Yeah, they can adjust it sort of, but it's not like you can't go down to negative degrees in the SEMA Garage.
I think you can. Well, they can cold soak. Maybe it's in a separate room.
Oh, maybe.
But I thought that their dyno cell could go down to cold soak levels.
Oh,
they do,
because they have to do it for an emissions standpoint as to startups and things like that.
Something crazy like that.
Yeah, but they have that whole shop area with the lifts. They just put the alignment rack in, tire machine. They got 3D scanners, 3D printers. They have the whole ADAS section for all the autonomous driving.
It's super cool. Yeah.
What episode, Harris?
I think it was 113.
So if you want to, we have some that's us sitting in the we were in the shop part of it, which is like eat off the floor level clean in there.
We did a photo shoot beginning of the year of my car in there.
Oh, okay.
Which was
Oh,
cool.
that's where it was?
Yeah, that was the same place. Which, like, if you're a SEMA member, you can go in there.
Yep.
It depends on what you want to do, like cost of it, but
Sure.
anyone that's a SEMA member can use it. So
That was with
pretty
Marcus?
cool. Yeah. Yep. Do you guys know Marcus Cervantes? Probably not.
What?
You would know him if he's done a lot of photography work for like Ford Performance. He's local around this area too.
Okay.
But he'll be at M1 this weekend,
Okay.
shooting some pictures and video.
Yeah, there's so much going on this week. Like we're trying to, we can't like, who was it that asked us? Like, you're not gonna have a whole week of podcasts. I'm like, there's so much to do.
Yeah.
Like this is our
you
first
sound
time at
busy.
Woodward, so
Yeah, you gotta enjoy it while you're here.
there's that too. And we're gonna leave here with 4 episodes, which is like just enough for my anxiety threshold. Like I don't like sitting. That's my thing.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. And I was just curious on that the whole SEMA garage side of things, because I know that there's certain things that have to go into consideration once you get to a higher level in aftermarket.
Yeah, like, cause Roush, like everything we do that's powertrain related, we go for an EO, like especially supercharger, because it's a huge benefit to sell into California and just to be green in all the states.
Right.
Where anyone can make a supercharger kit, but to do it to that level, the calibration's way different. I'm sure I've seen some of your little quick podcasts, little shorts on Instagram, but so you know what I'm talking about when it's like they get really strict with everything, like all the canister loading, all of the emissions levels of everything is so like highly looked at.
Yeah.
Well, people say, like, listen, you have to remember, California still has 40 million people. Like,
Yeah.
that is a huge market to be like, never mind.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just like, it's not like our kit, we don't do anything special to meet that for them. It's just, that's how we design it.
Sure.
And yes, it's in the calibration to meet those levels of emission standards, but if we could do it for them, we can do it for everyone else. So
There's that too.
Yeah.
And granted, yes, things are kind of at the moment seem to be loosening up, but nonetheless, like, you still have to do those
I don't think
things.
it's time to celebrate just yet.
Yeah, there's that too, right?
Yeah, and Roush Performance is one thing. Roush Industries does so much that nobody will ever know about. That
we talked to
crazy.
somebody else about it. It gets really, I can't remember what it was specifically, but there's some crazy stuff. Like,
Yeah.
a lot of these car companies we're noticing is like they dabble in other things too.
Oh yeah.
Detroit's weird.
Yeah, like there's over, I think, 30 dyno cells in the one building that they do dyno testing for brands.
Wow.
There's
30 dynos.
like engine dynos that you just put the engine on.
Oh, okay, sure.
Yeah, and then engine build where they do the Roush crate engines. They'll do, P51 airplane engines. They're one of the few that are actually certified to refurbish those engines because Jack's really into aviation.
Oh, okay.
So have you been in the Roush Museum?
I've been in the museum.
That's pretty cool to see too.
Okay,
if you
I
have
haven't
time
been
to
there yet.
stop by. They're only open during the weekdays, except maybe this weekend they'll be open. But I'd stop in if you can. It's pretty cool.
I went in there just to see the collection. They had, what did they have? They had something that I was looking for, a certain car in their collection, but at that time they were like remodeling the building, so half the collection was put away. And
they have like another building that's got like 50%
Oh, I tried to get
more.
in that building as well. It was not having it.
We could try it out.
I think there's a guy on YouTube that does tours of all those.
There is. The other place I want to get is Indianapolis Motor Speedway. You can like look in their museum, but for extra money, they have the basement vault that you're not allowed to video or take pictures in, but they have basically every pace car ever made is down there.
That's pretty sick. I didn't even know that.
No, that'd be super cool.
It was like I had the whole family with me, and it was like $100 some per person, and there's 6 of us. So my wife was like, "Go ahead." I was like, I would feel super guilty, like they're sitting in the truck, and I'm down there just going, "Oh, this is really cool."
Should have seen it.
Yeah.
Okay, so anyways, back to the drifting side. I was just curious on that. But back to the drifting side of things. So what's next for you guys over the course of this year then?
M1, and then we'll probably do Polecat. So Chase Bay's another company that makes some parts for cars. We are going to their kind of invitational thing that's in Tennessee at a track called Polecat Training Center. It's a lot of elevation change. It's a road course. It's used to like do police training, driver training. And then we have another round of DIGP and then we'll probably do some other events. We just gotta kind of see what's on the schedule.
Like we kind of touched on, we do the Grid Life events, so we vaguely talked about maybe going to one at Pit Race, Pittsburgh International Speedway. I think that's what's called, Raceway. Right now we're kind of into just going fast, which is the best way to put it. So like the Grid Lifes are nice because they do a lot of road courses. Like we were just at Road America.
I just saw somebody go into like the turn 1 at like 160 or whatever on an entry.
Yeah, it was like 161 or something like that.
Wild.
That's pretty nuts.
Yeah. I come into that corner at 160 also, but then I shut it down to 80 before I turn.
It's sketchy.
Yeah, he looks left and then he looks right and then makes the turn. Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah, so that's like Polecat. Polecat's like a third gear track, third gear being like, I mean, the top of third in my car is like 96. I don't know what yours is, but
the same.
You're flying through these corners, tons of elevation and tons of curves where like most small tracks, again, it comes down to momentum. Like momentum is your friend in drifting. So the slower you go, the more inputs you have to use. Whereas like when you go faster, like at Polecat or Grid Life or these other bigger road tracks, it's just foot to the floor and steering. And then you got your windows down and the wind is just railing in the car. So you like, for me, I know I'm going fast when like I initiate and I just get a huge blast of wind through my window. And it just like, it excites you. So like, for me, I think that's what I'm excited for this year. It's just, I'm trying to get into any track like that I can go fast at.
And what stinks is those are far away. So like you were saying with budget, it's like we still have a budget for the year. So like going there, you got a lot of fuel, the entry fee, we get an Airbnb.
Tires.
Yeah, tires, because it's a big track, going fast, so you wear them more. So it's like, the cooler the track, the more expensive it normally is. Makes sense. But
what's the furthest you guys have traveled?
Probably Polecat for me, which is 11 and a half hours.
New Jersey's probably very similar to that.
Jersey's 10 for me.
So I went to Ford Fest down in
Bowling Green,
Kentucky.
That's only 8 hours though.
8 hours. Yeah, so
that
Tennessee.
Just happened or is coming up or something?
It's in I think it's in September.
Okay.
LS Fest is coming up, I think.
Yeah, but nobody cares about that.
Nobody in this room, this shop probably does.
Yeah. So we talked a little bit about, we talked about all this, like how to get started, right? And I'm going to go backwards now because we were talking about what you guys are doing. But where am I going to, I'm trying to start here now. Do I go find like a church parking lot or do I go to an event even though I'm like totally green here, right? How do I initiate my first, like what am I going to do? Am I going to go out, I'm going to hit 30, crank the wheel, and what should I do here?
It kind of depends the area you live in. If you can go to a parking lot safely and not get in trouble, you could. But if you go on Drift Maps, you can sort by clinics, and then you can find a clinic.
Oh, there's clinics.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like at Mid-Michigan Drift Club, we do clinics as well. So exact scenario.
Yep.
You just bought a car, you don't know what anything is. You go there, you start to learn donuts, you do figure eights, and then you just kind of go from there. But there's people putting on clinics all over the place.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
That's probably the best way to do it.
So for like us, we have like two separate areas. So there's the main track and then there's an oval. On the oval, there's a cone. So we set you up to initiate and do donuts around that cone. And then you can take it a step further once you get that to transition, because transitions are probably the hardest part for beginners. You transition, we can't say that right now for some reason, out of that donut, and then you swing back onto the bank. So it teaches you how to transition and then how to commit to a corner. And then you can level up from that portion and get to the track. So we have guys helping on the beginner section. And then we even have guys on the other portion on the main track teaching you anything from like basics all the way up to if you got a partner you want to tandem with. I mean, we have tons of experience as you guys know at this point. We've been driving for 10 years. We can help drivers learn a ton, from the basics all the way up to what I would say is competition level driving.
Right.
But like in general, it's like start with donuts, go to a figure eight, maybe a larger figure eight to get the transitions down. Because the hardest part, like he's saying, is during the transition, cars aren't meant to drift. So like when you're transitioning that weight, they're going to want to spin out, and you just got to get your timing down. Is the hardest thing is probably just timing and knowing when to do something, not necessarily. So
okay.
But you can, plenty of event organizers, they do clinics.
Yeah.
You also don't need to go to a clinic, right?
Yeah.
The community is pretty welcoming to whereas if you just showed up and even if you know us, right? Like let's say you know us, somehow you're going to know somebody there more than likely. Even if you don't, it doesn't matter. There's plenty of groups you can post in and say, hey, I'm a beginner. This will be my first track day. Is there anybody here that can help me out and point me in the right direction when I get on track? Somebody's going to help you for sure.
Yeah, because it's like everyone's like a community. It's not, nobody's, like you go to just a random event, no one's competing there. So everyone's just having fun. So it's like.
Right.
And we all want the sport to grow. So we're going to do our best to help.
Okay. How do you grow the sport, by the way?
Doing stuff like this,
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
I know there's somebody that has weren't you on a drift podcast as well, or one of you?
I was on.
There's some guy that's running a drift podcast.
I was on the Smile Death one, and then also Daily Driver Media, and I was on one with. Do you know Jaron? You don't know him, Jaron.
Why does that name sound familiar?
It does.
Mustang Fan Club. Have you heard of that? It's like an Instagram and a big
we were
page.
just at an event. We were at
he works for RTR.
We were at Vinny's GTD release party. He was just there.
Yes.
So
I did a podcast way back when, like probably when I first started with Jaron, but you definitely don't remember that one.
No.
But yeah.
I think it takes dudes like us in the sport to help push the sport, right? Like, there's guys that are at a different level that can tell you what drifting is and get you excited about it, and then you can start drifting. But then it always takes the dudes that are at the next level to grow the sport, right? Because otherwise it would just be stagnant like anything else. Right. So like obviously there's dudes we look up to. So I think it as a community, the drivers kind of do this. They hold each other to a standard, whereas you should be some sort of positive presence in the community. And then because we want to be the Von Gint Jr. or the Chelsea Inofa, that's what we're striving to be.
Sure.
So there's always someone to look up to. And then naturally, I think as long as you show the positive side of that in the sport, that, it's going to be welcoming and more people will get into it. And then, that path is always there to the top if you decided to take it.
Because like I had no idea drifting even was a thing. Like I don't know when you like discovered it, but like you were saying, he's more into the traditional like Japanese style. I'm in more like, I grew up around like dirt track race.
Sure.
Like my buddy, his dad raced, we'd go to the races every weekend. That's what I wanted to do. And then I was like, wait, this is the same thing, just with like a way cheaper car. So that's how kind of I got into it. And that's kind of why I'm more, I guess, American style or whatever that would even be called.
I grew up riding BMX, and then, my friends from there just one day were like, drifting sick, and I'm like, what the hell is drifting? You know what I mean? And then I like start looking it up, and then I get a drift car, and I was at a Grid Life event probably longer than 10 years ago, actually, because I've been driving for 10 years. So yeah, probably 12 years ago. And actually some of the members of Bobby's crew, the team we're on now, at that point were like, oh, this guy's got a drift car. He's like, do you do any drifting? And I'm like, no, I do it on the street or whatever. And obviously I have gotten in trouble doing it. And I didn't really know how to take that first step. So maybe this is a way to put it is,
Go to driftmaps.com.
Yeah, driftmaps.com. It seems
or just find someone that like on Instagram, just message them.
Yeah, but taking that first step to getting on the track is what's scary as a beginner, right? So like it just seems so unachievable until like a group of dudes comes along and they're like, here's the way, right? And then you see it, you do it, and then literally from that moment on, my first day on track, I have not stopped pushing at all.
Well, it's kind of like that Harambe meme, like in the clouds, like come join us.
Exactly.
Like way back when.
Well, that's pretty much exactly how it was. So I think it takes dudes like that to grow the sport.
Yeah.
So you can each answer this question. I'll start with you. Who do you guys respect in the sport then?
Everybody's efforts. Because, no matter what form of motorsport you're in, it takes commitment and dedication and a lot of life lessons to make it sustainable, financially, mentally, and relationshiply, right? Like, you can, if you dive, so it's easy to dive so deep that you're a race car driver, but you're also still a husband or a boyfriend or a brother or have family and, have a job. Like you have to maintain all of that stuff as well as being like insanely passionate about the sport that you're in. So anybody that is in the community, not even just in drifting, but as a whole in racing community, like you have to respect that. You have to give your props to all those people because we're all going through pretty much the same thing.
Yeah, like everyone at our level has the same, they have a normal job, no one's paying for it for them. So it's like everyone's kind of in the same boat.
Everybody's working their ass off in all aspects.
Yeah. But like as far as people you could look up to, I mean, yeah, there's obviously drivers that you want to drive like, or you want to have a social media presence like another one, or, you know, like back to what he was saying is like organizers. If there wasn't organizers and people putting on events, we would not be able to drift anywhere. So it's important to kind of respect them people. And when you're at an event, you know, before you leave, say, hey, thank you for putting on the event, because if you don't do that, maybe one day they're like, yeah, I don't want to do events anymore, and then you have nowhere to go drifting.
Right.
That's so true, man. Like every once in a while, I think about throwing in a towel on this thing. It's like, you know, I get like a random email. It's like, hey man, thanks for putting out this episode with this person. I'm like, guess I'm gonna keep doing it, you know?
Yeah. It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like he was saying earlier, is like you want to like have respect to everyone. So someone looking in, not to bring up sideshows, but that would be a good thing. Like if, say your grandma has no idea what drifting is, she sees a sideshow on the news, and then she sees a video of us drifting. She's like, oh, look, I saw those people were on the news the other night. It's not the same, and you got to like have a fine line, or you know, a vivid line that they're not the same, and like we're respectful people and we want to take care of
sideshow. Are you referring to like takeovers?
Takeovers, yes.
Okay.
I don't know what you guys called sideshows here. Takeovers, same
sideshow seems more appropriate because that's what it feels like, right?
Sideshow, takeover, whatever.
Yeah.
All that stuff that you see that goes viral.
Okay, I'm gonna make a plea to every drift event organizer. Make a what is it, like a blow up starfish, and just have you guys just hit them. Because like, you know, every time you see a sideshow, somebody just goes starfishing through the air. Please make it some sort of competition. Hit the apex, send them flying. You know.
What about pumpkins?
Pumpkins?
Some people do that.
Really?
Yeah,
Hang pumpkins on the wall. A lot of times drift events, what you'll do is take a pool noodle and shove it through the fence, and as the cars blow by, they'll just
rail
all of them.
And people crash.
Different, but still funny.
Sure.
And then some people. I mean, I've definitely tried to like really get one and just crash the car in the wall.
Yeah,
multiple times.
Yeah.
Circle back though, I did answer your question, right?
I guess, is there any particular individuals that have helped blow up the sport?
I mean, I know
it's a collective.
Yeah, if you don't, I mean, you got to look at the pros, I guess, because they're the most of the social media. Like if you don't talk about Denofa and like James Dean and Von Gittin, those are the biggest people probably with social media presence in the US side anyways.
Yeah.
Denofa for sure is always trying to push the other aspects of the sport. James Dean is like always pushing the driver level aspect of it.
Yeah, like he's in like every series that's like the most
winning
all over the world, not just the US.
Like the dude's been on the podium every single round this year, I'm pretty sure. Everywhere. Which is insanely difficult to do. Like,
right.
And that back to a team aspect, like they're on the same team. Well, Denofa when he drove for FD. But like their team is crazy that he could like total his car basically, and they could put it back together in the same day.
It did.
It's like the Family Guy Amish thing. Up,
like they've got
spares, melted.
Yeah, spares of everything. Everyone knows what to do. They have a huge. I don't know how many people. I would assume they have at least 20 people, probably for one car or something like that, just to do every aspect. Like if you ever go to an event, as soon as a car comes in, guy's getting a data log, checking the tune. Another guy's doing tires, changing diff ratios.
Oh, I saw how crazy it gets. I actually got to ride 2 years ago at SEMA. I got to ride with Vaughn in one of the RTR Mustangs. I actually was supposed to ride with LZ, but then they basically just jacked the car up and they're like changing stuff. And I'm like, they're like, yeah, just go hop in with Vaughn or whatever. I'm like, I don't know who that is. And then, hopped in ever since.
I would say too, like one of the people I looked up to is JTP, so Justin Pollock. He was a great driver when he drove. He had a Mustang too. He wasn't as high on social media and stuff like that as some of the others, but he was like a very kind of respectful and aggressive driver, I thought. And it was kind of, he always was throwing cool angle and just,
he's a showman.
Yeah, his style of driving was really awesome to watch. So I just want to throw that. It's not just the people that are making the most Instagram reels and most of the fame. Like there's tons of people in the sport that are doing good.
Yeah.
But well, then pro spec, grassroots like us. Like there's plenty of people that look up to us, I'm sure.
Yeah.
There's
100%.
There's tons of people that you could probably name, honestly. It's kind of difficult because my brain thinks of like 12 people that I would say.
It's like you don't want to list them all, but
it's 100% a collective, right? Like none of the, if there's just one or two guys out there, it doesn't happen. Like you also have to remember like the people that are like your kids are an example, right? Like your daughter's 15, loves Skylines, right? She doesn't know much about the space yet, but like eventually like they're gonna be 18, 20, 25 years old. And then it's like, they're gonna think of that car from years ago. They're not gonna know it was a pro driver, or like, if I see this, I assume you're a pro driver, right? Like if I'm 12 years old, right? Like, so that's what you look up to is, you know, you don't care how many followers they have.
And drifting's so young. I don't know how long, was it 20? I don't know how many years.
Well, basically,
just drifting in general.
Vaughn getting started, basically.
Yeah, in for Formula
over
Drift
20
here
years.
at least. I mean, drifting obviously in Japan a long time.
Yeah, I think most people's first like introduction has to be Tokyo Drift, right? Like here on this side, like I remember seeing that movie and be like, that shit's crazy.
Right, yeah. Which that could have started the US. I don't know when that was.
Yeah, I mean, drifting is like easily 20 to 30 years old for sure.
But it's still young in the grand scheme of things. Like you think about like NASCAR, it's 100 years old. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I mean is like when I said I think it's, you know, we're 50% there to the potential of what it actually will be. And even pro cars, like it's kind of nuts. Like the difference between a grassroots car, like my car makes like 350 horsepower, Chad's makes 550, but obviously there's power to weight. But like at a pro level, those cars are all making around 1,000 horsepower.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Like 1,000. Look at the jump. Like that's double.
It's crazy.
Double what we're doing. Double
the tires are massive, sticky.
Yeah.
Nuts.
Like the cars have enough grip that they're literally pulling wheelies. Like they're lifting wheels everywhere.
Just wild.
Yeah.
Wild.
Actually, speaking of weight, so are you still aiming for like a 50-50 weight distribution with these, or like what are you aiming for?
It really depends on driver preference, and I think chassis too. Like, I don't know if there's a specific rule of thumb with it. If you have a more front weight biased car, it's going to be snappier to transition. I don't know if you'd agree with that versus a rear weight. Just because now, you know, your center of mass is on the front, so it's going to be quicker to transition, but it could be car dependent too. Yeah. Like how your steering's set up and everything. I don't know if there's a general rule.
I think 50-50 is always ideal just for
because then it's balanced.
Repeatability, I guess. It's just balance.
How the car handles.
But yeah, that's kind of what I was saying earlier with the 6-cylinder versus the 4-cylinder is like I had a ton of front end weight and I could notice that difference. And then as soon as I went to the 4-cylinder, I had a lot of I had ideas when I was looking to switch to the EcoBoost of like what the car would drive like. And then it was nice to see that taking the weight out the front end, I actually got what I wanted as far as the way the car would transition through a corner. It would almost, with all that weight in the front, almost feel like a front wheel drive car. Whereas now, with all the weight and the motor being back, it feels way more balanced. So when I throw the car, it's more of a 4-wheel slide. I get on throttle a lot sooner. You know, it feels more trustworthy.
Oh, actually, that's one thing we didn't touch on. Safety. Are you both of you guys running cages at this point?
Yeah. Any competition you should.
Okay.
Yeah. So the series we're in, you gotta have, everywhere you go, you gotta have a helmet. You can run stock seat belts if you have a stock seat.
And a Snell approved helmet.
Yeah.
That's something that is not touched on enough.
SA20. SA 2015.
SA is Snell approved, I think.
Yeah. Race car helmet, not a motorcycle helmet.
The 20,
not a
20
DOT.
is dead as of this year, I think. Is your last time. So that's what mine is.
But there's so many, all I was saying is there's so many people that show up to like drift events as newbies that bring DOT helmets, like literal motocross helmets. It's like, this isn't, it doesn't work.
But yeah,
sorry to interrupt.
It depends on what you're doing. Like the series we're in, they require fire suits too. If you're in a pro level, you need a fire suppression system, not just a fire extinguisher. But yeah, both our cars basically have the same setup for safety. Full cage with intrusion bars, harnesses. You'll wear a Hans device for your head, helmets, fire suit, gloves, shoes.
Yeah,
fire extinguisher.
The tech list is pretty standard across the board. For each levels.
And then, and you guys, this is where it turns into more of a personal decision. Are you guys just doing like a basic like fire suit, like what is it, 1 layer or whatever? Or like do you get, like how crazy do you guys go with safety?
So they required a 1 layer for DIGP, but this standard's a 2 layer, which is like the 3.2/5, I think.
I don't know.
It's basically the rating of how long you can be on fire till you get burnt.
Right.
So the higher the rating, the better, obviously.
I don't want to be on fire at all.
Yeah.
You don't want to tell Digging Nights?
Yeah. I mean, the higher the rating, the better. But unless you spend a lot of money, you don't get a comfortable suit with that. So it depends on the material. Like I had a really cheap suit before that was a 2 layer like cotton or something. I was just drenched in sweat every time I wore it. And now I got like an OMP suit, and it's a lot more breathable. It has flex sections, kind of like your suit. It's actually comfy to wear. It's not super hot.
Sure.
Oh, really? So even though you're going up in layers, you go to a higher quality suit, it's more comfortable.
My suit is more comfy than wearing jeans.
Really?
And a long sleeve t-shirt.
It's like $200 pajamas, like what you would think those would feel like.
Because I have race quip stuff now.
That's like a low end.
And I just bumped my jacket up accidentally because I couldn't find my jacket. And
Did you ever find it, by the way?
No, I didn't. And I was being called to grid, and I literally had to swing into the pro shop in my race car on the way to grid and buy a jacket. Like, didn't matter the price, and it is hot as hell.
Yeah, it depends on the material.
Yeah.
Some are more breathable and lightweight. Like the physical weight of my new suit versus my old one is like less than half. Wow. Because it's just like old technology versus new, just with anything.
I've only ever had the suit I have now, but I think it's 3.2. But if I'm being real, I didn't look into that. I looked into the lightness of it because I knew I want to be comfortable. So mine's like an ultra lightweight Nomex suit, and it is surprisingly, I think a GP it was like 80 something. Like, I was comfortable in the heat. It's very breathable. Whereas I can imagine I've seen the race cup ones. I'm sure they're not good.
Like mine was like a Zamp like base layer. I mean, all the companies have their base entry level. They all go up.
Right.
No matter, not saying certain brands, but if it's super hot, you can wear like a cool shirt with that's got ice water running through it. That's an easy way to stay cool during endurance racing.
If it's 60 degrees out, I'm hot.
How much is the race cup suit?
So let's just put it in perspective. So I do, as a weirdly shaped man like myself, I have pants and then a jacket.
Okay.
Yeah. So
as Kurt refers at this masculine figure.
Yeah. So I do my pants are whatever the lowest level is, and then my jacket now is a 3.2. Again, I had a matching, but the set that was together off of Amazon, maybe I paid $150 for the pair.
Oh, wow.
Right? So it was very low level.
It gets you the safety level.
It met the requirement for what I needed.
Yeah. And that's just comfort. Like, as you pay more, you'll get more comfort.
Yep.
Which is definitely worth it if you're going to be wearing it a lot.
No, I was looking. There was definitely ones that looked cooler, but then there was $1,200.
Yeah.
For a suit, but
even like helmets. So like I had a race quick helmet for a while, just a normal helmet, and I got a carbon fiber one now, and it's lighter. You don't notice it's a little bit lighter, but just like your head's not as sore. I don't know if you've ever.
I don't have a carbon one.
Even with like the open face, it's lighter, right?
Oh, the open face is amazing.
Yeah, just for airflow.
I took the shield off mine. It was a pain in the ass.
I don't ever wear my shield, but I just switched to an open face just because I think it looks cool, and like for smaller events, I think it'd be cool to wear one, but it's so much more enjoyable to drive in. You don't feel like you're claustrophobic.
I mean, the way something looks is also a factor, right? Like when I did my shoes, I was looking at the race quip ones. I was like super basic, but I did up a little bit on the shoes because I thought they look cooler. Same with the helmet. I have a Bell helmet and it's blaze orange, and I got it because it matched my car at the time. But I did pay a little bit more for a Bell.
Yeah.
I think kind of like it's situational for me as to what I do. Like it depends on, in the winter. Like I got a nice suit, right? But it was also the winter. I'm not in the middle of the season, so it's like easy to spend. I think I paid like around $1,000 for my suit.
Sure.
But I also knew that at that time, I was probably not going to buy another suit for a while. So I was like, okay, let me just buy a nice suit. But Chad has a carbon fiber helmet. I have like the cheapest race quip helmet you could get because I didn't realize until during the season. You're right. Well, during the season, it was like, oh fuck, I need a helmet. So like I bought a cheap helmet because I got to buy tires. I got to pay for racing, same thing with like shoes, etc. Like for me, it seems situational as to what I'll do, but I always will, kind of like you're saying, make sure that it meets the requirements.
Right.
But ideally, I would love to have a carbon fiber helmet and, the best.
Well, everything, it just adds to the bottom line. It's like, great, now I'm $5-10 grand in safety gear.
Well, there usually is a reason why the better thing is a little more expensive, right? Like you said, your carbon fiber one is way more comfortable. Usually if you make that step up, very rarely are you disappointed. Right?
Yeah.
Like you get what you pay for basically in any aspect of it.
Yeah, even in your seat. If you get a nice seat or a junk seat.
Right. Sure.
The more comfortable you are in the car, like if it's 100 degrees out and you have a thick race suit on versus a thin lightweight one, you're going to be more comfortable driving, so you'll probably drive better. And if you're in competition, that matters. Like you're not dehydrating as quick. You're not being like, get me out of the car. you can just sit in there and drive. That's
You
all
can maintain focus.
Yeah, exactly.
Some of that also does go out the window a little bit. Like I am hot, but once I'm on the track and I'm cooking down the road, you do forget some things. But you would, after you spend a good amount of time, it would get annoying.
The 5 minutes on grid though is
definitely
annoying.
Horrible.
Yeah.
Well, I have a PD car too, so it just sits there in my freaking IETs there. Though I try to not run the whole time I'm there, but sometimes you sit for a minute and
I'm always terrified to shut the car off on grid, and then like all of a sudden they send grid, and my car, I'm like, start.
Yeah, I have had those moments where I'm like, oh shit, I'm putting my gloves back on, I'm setting all my shit up, putting a helmet back on. I'm like, I should have been more prepared.
Do you remember Calvo talking about he's like doing track days in Texas in a Viper? And it's like, that's the hottest car on the planet. Like even in like, I remember my first ride along was in a twin turbo one, and fucking, it was 40 degrees outside. I'm still hot inside this car.
It depends on part of Texas, because we actually did some testing with Roush in Uvalde, Texas, and it was like 105, 106 degrees, but it was like 5% humidity, and it didn't. It felt like maybe 90 out.
You go to crazy. Houston, you ain't coming back alive.
You're
gonna be a boiled lobster.
Yeah.
Do you boil lobsters? I don't know. I'm not a seafood guy.
I think you do boil lobsters.
Yes.
I don't know.
You boil them alive even.
That's crazy. Yeah. Where's PETA for that one? They've been really quiet lately. I don't know. Anyways.
All I know is I'm in the market for some new safety gear and PRI this year. I don't know if you guys ever go, but I'll be shopping for some deals and also looking for sponsors if you're interested.
Yeah, I have a discount code for you.
Yeah?
If you need some.
Right.
Yeah.
It seems like OMP is like, if you don't want to think about it and you want to mindless buy, like OMP. I mean, I think that's what you run, but it's
hold
always
on now. What's the code?
So Stable Energies is the site. So they're actually based out of New Jersey, and they have a showroom. So that's when I went in and got my suit. I could try on like 4 different brands, like Alpine Star, OMP, and they had a couple others. But if you ever go to New Jersey, definitely check out their location. But anyways,
what was it called again?
The code is CHAD2025. It's stableenergies.com.
Sure, okay.
So their focus is safety gear, so helmets, gloves.
Yeah.
They also have like cool suits, all that kind of stuff.
Sure.
Radios if you need like.
Do they go to PRI? Do you know?
They were there not like as an exhibitor, but they go to talk because they have a ton of relationships with
their vendors.
Yeah, so they're one of the few people that are actually like certified to refill fire extinguishers. So people or fire suppression systems. So they'll send in their units to them and they'll refill them, recertify them. Same thing with like Hans devices. Those don't expire, but they need they kind of expire. They need inspected basically, and they'll do the inspection for you with the tethers and all that kind of stuff.
I'm going to be moving to that too this year. So right now I'm using that donut under my helmet. So
yeah. Do you have harnesses in your car, or how's
no, I do not.
So I think you'd need like a hybrid system then.
That's something to spend the money on.
Yeah. Okay.
Harnesses?
I bought like a good Hans. I bought the cheap Hans, and he has the nice Hans.
Yeah.
It's not worth buying the cheap one.
Really?
Yeah, you can get some more movement out of your head with a really
and
good
just
one,
comfort.
right?
Like it's just bulky versus not bulky.
Yeah, the ones I have are like massive.
Okay.
And it like digs into my shoulder no matter how I adjust it, and there's limited adjustment. And then like Chad's is just like bloop, and it's super comfortable.
But back to the Hans. So remember at the beginning when he T-boned me at that event? That's when I was like, I need to get a Hans and a containment seat, because the containment seat has the kind of 2 little things to keep your head. My neck still hurts randomly from I think that incident, because my neck, like I have a video of it. It's just like completely, you got a helmet on, it's extra weight.
I know, I hit him pretty hard.
It was hard. But at that moment, I was like, I need to get safety gear. That's better than just a normal helmet.
It's rare. We actually just had the U.S. VP of Marketing for Race Tech on our show yesterday.
That's the seats you have, isn't it? Race Tech?
You have Race Tech?
Yeah.
We were just talking about this. Like safety is typically a reactive thing, right? Like you don't think about it proactively until it's time to. So
yeah, but then I have a Halo seat and a Hans now, and a couple weeks ago, I actually got into a front end collision with a car that like shut down. Anyways, I rear-ended them, and like a couple of days later, I was like, my neck doesn't hurt at all. But that's because I had the Hans. So it's like it makes sense. It's like if I didn't have it, maybe I'd be hurting from that too. So
I actually bottomed out. I was pretty pissed about it, but I was at Luke's house. I don't know if you guys saw the farm with the jumps and stuff when we were there.
Oh, we didn't get to go over there with fresh rain. It was all muddy. Otherwise, he was going to take us for a rip.
He runs a series. Well, he did run a series over there with like it's like shitty trucks and you race around the track.
Sure.
Those are the ones I went over with you.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I think you rode in the truck with me.
Yeah.
And we bottomed out his truck on the lip and smashed the brush guard into the lip, and my head went way forward, and it just hurt so bad. I was like, man, we should be more prepared for this.
Yeah.
So you have a race tech in yours then?
I have race 6 seats, yes.
Okay. Which do you know? Is it like a head containment one or?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's like the I don't remember exactly. I think it's like R100 or 200.
Sure.
I don't remember exactly which ones I have. I bought them 3-4 years ago.
Okay. I'm sure they're worth it.
Yeah, back to safety requirements. Some
Spendy.
tracks require
It's not
that.
worth it.
What was it?
The seats aren't worth it. No.
Yeah. Well, how much do you pay per seat?
We get a discount for them, and I think I still paid like $1,100 a seat or something.
Sure.
Yeah.
You
You
get the
can
energy
get-
ones next.
Energy?
Yeah.
Oh, never in my life. No, what are the ones that you have? The
All right. So you have standards.
I had Momo, but now I have OMP.
Okay, so I think OMP, so being here, obviously I've sat in plenty of seats. I think OMP is the best. I have no relation to them either, but I think OMP is the best bang for your buck.
Sure.
Yeah,
Like
they're a little lower priced, but they
Yeah, it's
are
like
comfy.
$800 or something like that for a containment seat, and they have tons of cushion, but you still have good like grab. Whereas, and again, like I'm not bragging or nagging or whatever the word would be on race tech, but like you have to sit perfect in that seat and be strapped in perfect. And like, there's a hump that I think is meant so that you push like this. Well, that hump is a little, there's not enough padding there. So like it just pushes on your back pretty hard.
Sure. Okay.
So like, sure, I could buy a pad, but
Right.
you spend all that money, I don't think you should buy a pad.
Right.
And I say that, but I haven't changed them. So obviously they're not too bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just
Right.
deal with it.
But also, though, other than comfort, you don't really know what you got yourself into until you're some sort of horrible wreck.
Until
right?
somebody T-bones you.
Yeah.
Well, even worse than that, like Antonio Calvo crashed a Viper at over 200 miles an hour, and the race tech seat is
Probably,
one of the only reasons he's probably around right now.
Yeah. When the cage bends, you know, it's a nasty crash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
So-
Yeah, like you can see. So I never showed you these photos, but you can see like there's like a little kink on like the I think it was like the A pillar, like kind of like right here, like it because he crashed at like 200 miles an hour. Like
That's
yeah,
crazy.
Yeah.
yeah. So it's wild, but
And kind of gauge your safety off what you're doing. If you're on
Right.
a little skid pad and you're by yourself and there's nothing to hit except cones,
Correct.
yeah, it's like try flipping this thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
For real.
You should definitely always try
But
to
like Road
overbuy.
America 160 sideways, like
Yeah, once you start tandeming, I definitely would recommend a containment seat at a minimum, just because you never know when you're going to get hit or you hit someone.
sure.
You know, you hitting someone's when the Hans comes in handy. They do a little bit of side to side, but containment's more like you getting hit type of thing.
Sure.
Which drifting, you're always hitting the back bumper on something, so you're always
kind
of doing that.
Yeah, I mean, and that's another thing too, is like if you're drifting, like we're gonna accidentally bump into each other, and typically like if we're doing okay, the bumps aren't massive. So you could be like focused on what you're doing and trying to pay attention to your line and not mess it up and get hit, right? So to have the containment and the Hans and be steady even when you get hit is big to maintain your
Yeah, like you
lead.
can't, like if I'm looking this way and someone hits me, you don't know that's coming.
Right.
So you can't brace or like do anything. You just
Sure.
kind of
But because of the safety equipment, it's not a big.
yeah, you know.
What Hans device or what's the brand?
The one I have is called a Next Gen. So a typical Hans brand Hans device is kind of like goes down on your chest like this,
Sure.
where mine it kind of stops, and it's meant to be more comfortable. So sometimes people complain about them hitting your collarbones and just kind of just the pressure on it. Mine just kind of sits up here. I've tried both, but having mine, it forces you to have your belts tight, otherwise it moves around. So
But
should
you
not-
also want belts tight.
you shouldn't be in the car with loose belts because they're not going to help
It's
you.
carbon
Right.
fiber too, right?
Yeah, that one's carbon fiber too.
Sure. Okay.
It looked cool. There was a non-carbon fiber and a carbon fiber. At PRI, they were like $100 off if you buy it
Yeah,
at the
dude,
show. I was
PRI
like,
is the place to shop.
I was like,
man.
then it's the
Yeah.
same price. I was like, I bought the carbon one.
Yeah. Dude, you don't have to you don't
Yeah.
have to explain on why somebody would buy carbon
No,
fiber over
yeah.
other. There's sometimes like I have a carbon fiber hood on one of my cars, and the weight savings is like 5-6 pounds, but it looks
Yeah.
way fucking cooler, right?
Yeah, I'm just thinking like when I'm walking around with my helmet, how cool I look. So
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, you look more baller.
You definitely look cool.
yeah, like I even got like a blue shield for my helmet because I was like, that would look pretty cool in pictures. Like blue car, carbon fiber, blue shield.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's your photos on the wall later.
Yeah, and drifting style. So it's like you're saying with wheels. These are bright powder coated wheels. Like someone might like that. Yeah. Someone might not.
Right.
So it's like it's all about style.
Well, anyways, should we? We're at 2 hours, by the way.
Yeah.
Should we hit the usual 3?
Yeah, I'm hungry.
You're hungry. Was there anything else you guys wanted to touch on before we pop our last question? This is a fun.
Yeah, I think it's pretty good. Yeah.
No, I mean, I hope I didn't stray too far away from the questions, I guess. But
dude, this thing is not serious. Trust me. Like that's why people all the people that hit me up on the podcast, like with feedback, they just like that's more casual. Like I don't
it's
come
more
here with a
enjoyable
script.
to listen to that way.
Well, it's also more fun to talk, right? Like I could probably do this in 20 minutes. But then I have to go rapid fire, and then it's like whatever. But you can't relate to a person that way. People like to hear your story, or at least I do. I don't know. But on that note, do you want to rip the usual 3?
Sure. Right now? Just kidding.
Sure.
All right. So at the end of every episode, we like to ask our guest or guests to pick 3 cars. I need a track car, a daily driver, and a show car. You have an unlimited budget. You can swap, build whatever you want. What are you picking? Who's
So
going
a track
first?
car, a daily, and
And a show car.
okay.
Any type of track. Show car is the kind of thing you just go
Do you
get some
build
ice
the
cream.
track car? Or does it have to be like an out of the box?
Unlimited budget. You do whatever you want. You could cut 2 cars together. That's your.
Weld 2 cars together.
You can cut them too.
You could cut them, I guess, after you weld it
You can't-
together.
Well, no,
You
you know
can't say
Japanese
Mustang for all
furniture
3.
style.
I know. Well,
are we doing
I don't
this?
even think any of them would be a Mustang, to be honest. Like, so my favorite car is an R34, like Bayside Blue, because of Fast and Furious.
Yeah.
So that, I guess, would be if I'm like just loaded, then that's my daily.
Yeah.
And then the show car, maybe like, I don't know, some old like hot rod or like, I don't, maybe that's the old classic Mustang, like an Eleanor Mustang or something maybe.
Oh, okay.
Be kind of cool. And then a track car would probably be a drift car of some sort, like a S15 or maybe E46. That's,
You don't want RTR car?
like that would be sick. I think,
Dude,
I think S15.
there's no practicality to the end of this. Just you go for shoot for the moon.
Well, I was thinking an S15 with like the RTR motor. Be like
With the
kinda,
what?
Be kind of weird. So RTR, they run, I believe, a Roush Yates motor, like a RY45.
Oh, okay.
Or
It's
something.
like
Roush Yates is right down there, too.
Yeah, something like that they run. I think it's maybe not that specific one, but I think it's out of like the off-road trucks or something.
Interesting. Okay.
But yeah, either a Mustang or like a S15.
Well, you gotta lock in now.
Yeah, and okay, I'll go with the Mustang then.
Okay.
But like pro level
Sure.
car just to be crazy with.
What's that company? One of you has to know this. What's that crazy carbon Kevlar like BMW sort of company? I think they're based out of Europe or something.
HGK.
HGK. That's the other one I always think about.
Yeah, that would be sick. Like a Eurofighter is what they call it.
Yeah, the Euro. That's what it's called. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
Mick Schumacher has one.
They this isn't part of the thing, but they make a kit to convert an E46 to like an M2 that kind of looks like the Eurofighter. That's what I sent a picture
I'll
of.
have to look
Yeah,
that
do you
up.
follow FD at all?
Not much. No, not really.
What are those kids' names? Sorensen?
Yeah, the Sorensens.
So it's these Sorensen kids. They have E46s, the same car as his, but they look like modern chassis, but it's
Yeah.
all just fiberglass conversion.
Oh, okay.
As Chad's mentioning.
Yeah.
All right, what's your answer then?
So it's track car, daily, and what?
Show car.
Show car.
Show car. Definitely have to go with the muscle car for that. But track car would be a Ferrari F40 for sure.
Okay.
That's always been my dream car. As far as like unlimited budget, I don't know enough about them to say what I would do to it. But you know, if there was a Ferrari F40 guy, I would want him to do everything he could to make it the best. Probably wheel-to-wheel racing car would be sick. I don't know the correct term for that, but like I wouldn't want to do just time attack. Like I want to rawly race that car
Like
with
endurance race.
like what is it? GLTC is wheel-to-wheel,
like-
right?
Yeah.
You drop it off.
Like, could you imagine doing
That
that,
would be
with
sick.
that car?
With an F40?
Yeah, with an F40
So that'd be your track car?
track car.
All right,
yeah.
I like it.
Yeah,
That's a
yeah.
good, tasteful, respectful answer.
As far as like a show car, it'd probably be. It's tough to be quick. I'd probably say a Yanko Nova. Just because I think the Yanko Nova is pretty slept on. Like everybody knows the Yanko Camaros, like
Yep.
69 Camaros, but like who really knows about the Novas? Like you don't really ever see the Novas.
Okay. He's just flexing his knowledge right now. He's like,
Well, I
I
mean,
went to the
it's a little-
library today.
It's got an EcoBoost in it.
Dude, if you no, never really. Have you seen what is it, Transporter? Where the
Yeah.
movie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? The highway scene with the Yanko Nova? Like ever since I seen it as a kid, I'm like, That is
Sick.
way too sick.
Well, with Ford, the Torino Cobras get overlooked too all the time because everybody's
There's
all
a
about
Torino
Mustang.
Cobra?
Absolutely.
Oh.
Absolutely.
Today I learned
Fucking
something.
Badass 428 Cobra jets.
That's cool.
They were they're pretty badass.
And then daily.
Daily? I don't know. I mean, daily would be tough, but it'd have to have like really good AC and be comfortable. So
All right, welcome to 2025.
yeah. I'd love to pick like
Welcome to 1992.
yeah. Let me get a 1999 CRV.
Yeah.
Probably,
His first requirement is AC.
yeah. Dude, I'm 30 something. I need AC.
yeah.
AC and comfortable seats. I mean, you got an F250, F350.
Yeah.
Yeah, those things give you massages. Those are pretty
Like
nice.
a BMW like 5 or 6 Series would be pretty good as a daily too.
Yeah, I'd want it to
Super
be
comfy.
sporty and fun, and then like have AC and comfort creatures, like comfortable seats.
I'm dealing an R34, so
I feel like
it's not
How are you
very
going to get your race
comfortable.
car to the track?
Well, these were just the cars. I
was gonna ask that
I thought
when
we
you guys
still had
asked.
a truck.
No, this is all you can have for
Oh,
the rest of your life.
then the daily would have.
No. Just stressing him out.
then I'm picking a truck.
Yeah, it'd have to
I'd
be.
probably say
Damn, you just ruined his.
Or wait, no, we're
I
so
know.
rich. We get
No,
them
his
delivered.
shit's locked in.
Yeah, you're locked in with an R34.
We get them delivered because we're rich.
That's
Yeah,
true.
yeah, yeah.
There you go.
There you go.
That's
I
what
don't
it
know
is.
what I've specifically picked for a daily, but it'd probably be some modern sports car, right? Like newer, probably a BMW. I think, like you said, if I was rich and I had to pay for the service on it,
Okay, M3
probably like some newer M3.
Like M3. Okay.
Yeah, like I did recently drive, I think, an F80 or G80
G80?
M3.
The ones with big ass front grill.
I think so. Yeah, the big grill. So
Yeah.
we just put a single turbo on one, and that was like super comfortable. I think they're overrated, but still cool. So that's what made me start thinking about maybe a Porsche would be better. You know, like a GT3
Going down to
RS.
Porsche. Okay. That's gonna be your daily.
We'll just pick that, sure.
As
long as it has
you're
AC.
locking it in. This is forever. We're not letting you back on this podcast.
I think I have AC.
Yeah, let's go for it.
GT3 RS. Okay.
If you get me one, I'll drive it for the rest of my
Yeah,
life.
right.
Dude, I would pick a GT3 RS over a G80 any day of the week.
Have you driven one?
In a parking lot
Wow.
of the dealership, I drove one, and I've ridden in a G80 M3.
Do they have AC?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm
Absolutely.
It was a
locking it
previous
in.
Gen GT3 RS. It was part. It's a whole
Doesn't
story.
matter. It's a GT3 RS.
Yeah. I've also driven a 900 horsepower G80. That's also fun. So,
Yeah.
This one had like 700.
yeah.
And it's rowdy.
Yeah, they're fun. There's not a lot of life in them though. They're fast, but like you don't feel connected to the car. I don't know.
Just
what it is.
work.
I think
what?
I would agree with that. It's like it seems like it's all for show for the most part.
Sure.
Like, but not necessarily like I don't know, man. It just didn't feel like I wouldn't want to spend 50 or whatever grand on it.
Trust me, they don't even start at 50. The
No?
G80s, they're absurd. I think it started. I think
80, 90.
80, yeah.
Or- yeah.
I think Sean paid like.
Dude, you could get so much more car for the money, I think.
But that's an argument for like anything. Like, oh, for $1,000, I can get this instead.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, for sure.
It's never ending with car guys.
That's a good ending question.
Yeah, but on that note, where can everybody find you? We'll start with you.
Instagram is at Coyote _E46 or drift.maps would be the other one for drift
Or
maps.
driftmaps.com, right?
Yeah, or driftmaps.com.
Sure. You?
It would be Josh _SD, so ESTEY on Instagram, pretty much all social media. Facebook's Josh SD, and then Instagram, Josh _SD.
So if you guys have any drift questions, DM you guys.
Sure.
Sure, yeah,
Sweet.
run it up. Ask us anything. Ask
Awesome.
me anything. Ask Chad anything.
Sweet. Dan?
You can find us at Gunna Garage. 2 N's.
Hey, it's been a while since you said that.
Yeah, doesn't matter.
Well, perfect. Well, thanks for coming on, guys. This is a blast. Dan, thanks for existing, and we'll see y'all next time.
Thanks again for watching the show, guys. Be sure to go into the description down below and check out all of our sponsors. They are what make this show possible. It allows us to travel the country and talk to some really cool guests, so be sure to check them out, support them just like you support us, and see y'all next time.